Welcome back, everyone, and it is time for PAS. It is Gibson, joined by Poro, and Poro, might I just say, it feels so good to be back.
I felt a little off center. I didn't want to start off center, but here we are. But yeah, no, it's been a long, cold winter, and now that signs of spring are right around the corner, it's time to get back into some beautiful, lovely PUBG.
Yeah, it's a good time to be back at it. And of course, it's a year of change, Poro, right? We've made the switch over. You know, it's time to look at things from a different perspective. And with that, we're looking at a whole new path to PAS. In the past, it was open qualifiers, couple of weeks, done and dusted. But now, Poro, it's a bit more of a longer path to get there.
It is. It's a longer, some might say a little bit more complicated path, but at the end of the day, it gives you more opportunities to try to get there, to try to get the PAS, try to get the PGS, and to finally, eventually, the goal of everybody to get on that stage at PGC at the end of the year. So, how are we starting here in PAS, though, Gibson?
So it is as simple as this. Last week we had a couple of scrims. The teams from those scrims have now qualified to play in this first cup. Yes, scrims. And if you do well in the cups, Poro, you get points. And if you get points, you get prizes. You climb that leaderboard, and then the top teams from that leaderboard make it through to the first week of those playoffs. But Poro, as you can see, we have 5 weeks of cups coming up, so a lot can change over the next few weeks.
Absolutely. You want to come in here, obviously, and get started on the right foot, get as many points as you can, because as you said, you're trying to get up the leaderboard and stay at the top of that leaderboard to make it to PAS at the end there and join the rest of those regionally invited teams. So if you come today looking for the likes of Falcons or who else? Rock. We don't got them today. What we've got the next generation of bangers to bring it up here. Although some of the next generation might look very familiar as they have been in previous generations before.
I was going to say there's some young guns, coughs and young.
There's still some young guns out there.
We'll talk about them a bit later, but let's talk about the point system, right? Because obviously you want to know how teams are going to get up through those points, how those cups are going to work. I suppose the first thing to point out, Poro, is it's 5 maps on a rotation, so we're getting 5 maps on the night. And as you can see, a little bit of a change. It's 10, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1. It's not quite what we used for cups last year. It's a bit more similar to the old super settings.
Right, and you know, at the end of the day, you could still get that 10 points for first, but you know, you're looking towards the lower part of the leader, so the halfway part of the leaderboard, 8th, 7th, and I think that's fair when you think about the teams that make it all the way to the late game. If you make it into the top 8, and especially now that we're kind of in a different format, you want to get something for your time up there, but you also don't want to get too much.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nice too, because I think one good cup is not going to make PAS or break PAS for any of these teams. I think it's going to be a case of just being consistent and showing up and climbing that leaderboard as much as possible. But here's some of the teams. If you've been around the Americas for a long time, you're going to recognize some of these teams and logos straight away. Like, if you've been watching scrims over the last 3-4 years, you'll know Train to Go, you'll know Collector, you'll know Jewel. But a lot of these other like team names, if you delve into them a little bit, it's a lot of players we recognize, right? Like, you know, you look at Athletes of Christ. This was a team you spoke about. They're your early favorites, right? You think they're going to do really well?
Oh yeah. Look, you're getting to see some new phenomenal AI art for the teams, and the names on the front of the jerseys are important, but the names on the back of the jerseys are where you're going to find a little bit of more comfort there. As Athletes of Christ, you're looking at Haven, Tony, LFP, Fana. They were absolutely dominant during their scrims run. Just unreal performance from those guys. But all the guys, all the teams here actually found success in those scrims, obviously, otherwise they wouldn't be here. But a lot of names that you're going to remember, obviously Duel, you've got Wooly, Pentalol, that are joined now by Keen and Iro. Sharpshot still on that squad as well as a fill-in. You know, you've Mafu, Mate, Cater. Like, I mean, I'm looking up and down this thing, and it's guys that names we've seen for the past several years.
Yeah, and I'm looking at one team, right? And it's Pest Control. And I think this is a team that's playing the long con, right? Because this is a year where we have PGC, We've also just announced the fact that PNC and ENC are going to be involved this year again. ENC for the first time, and we can see a team where there's 2 Canadians. You don't want to put 3 or 4 in the one team, because if you do, you get roster locked and you can't play together on an international stage. So there's some international thinking there too as well, Paro. But let's look at the actual prize pool that we got coming up.
Yeah, and look, 15 grand, right? It's obviously not a lot, but remember, there's 5 of these cup prizes, and it's also this is just to kind of wet your whistle a little bit for getting into that PAS Grand Finals lobby, and then eventually the PGS lobbies, eventually the PGC lobbies. So the prize pools, get incrementally larger. But having a prize pool for something at this level, this kind of entry gateway into the other stuff is great. I love to see it.
It's a prize pool for a qualifier. Like, that's what it is. This is the equivalent of having money on the line for open qualifiers last year. And what makes that exciting, Paro, is you're not going to have the likes of Rock, and you're not going to have the likes of Falcons in there taking all that money like they like to do when it comes to PAS itself. So this is a chance for some of these other players to make a little bit of cash over the next 5 weeks as well. But it is going to be tough, right? Because you said it. A lot of these players and a lot of these teams, we know them. They've got new names, new look, new logos, as you pointed out as well. But the thing that I like is we have a lot of representation from North America, because towards the end of last year, a lot of the cups were being dominated by the South American teams. You'd have 15 teams from South America, 1 from North America. But when you look at the lobby tonight, there's a bit more balance, and it's good to see.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a wake-up call last year, wasn't it? I mean, you had South America has definitely been getting better and better and better every single year. And then I think last year was kind of the first time where a lot of these guys that have been around for a long time in the Americas that have just kind of been skating through off of, good enough and how well they are just naturally at the game, started finding, okay, well, that's not enough anymore. Like, we've got to actually start scrimming. We've actually got to start calming better. We've got to start improving our game if we want to make it to those PAS finals, and not just kind of get there based off of our natural ability, just because the lobby was a little bit weaker. South America has definitely stepped up. And speaking of step up, look at that, we're already in game. Gibson match 1 already underway, and we are tuning in right now to I Am Bolivia and Kamba looting it down in the apartments.
Yeah, I love it. Straight into a jump scare for I Am Bolivia. But, I'm looking at the names. I think Paro will call the last player just I'm So Bad. We'll stick with that one for ourselves on the night.
Hey, man, if they let him have that name, then let's give him his name.
Yeah, right.
No?
No.
Okay.
I'm too polite. I'm too polite. But look at this, right? You got Wooly, you got Penta. You were speaking about the fact that Jewel last year had K-Mind on the roster. They've made a bit of a swap. 2 players out, 2 players in. Kain is in, Iroh is in. Look, Iroh's a player who's been around for a long time as well, and I think he's going to add. He's going to add a lot, and he's already got some damage on the board as well. 87. He's found. I don't quite know who he was fighting that gunfight with, but keep an eye on Jewel, because this is a team that could have a bit of a run over the course of the next 5 weeks.
Well, this is the time when you expect to see Duel do well, right? Like, this is the level. Obviously, scrim, the initial scrims, you expect them to kind of dominate everybody, but at this point, you still expect Duel to be one of the better teams in the lobby, given how much experience is on that squad. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Unfortunately, we don't have a map feed, so we're just gonna have to assume that Iroh spotted somebody over there, just off to the east of Chopsticks. Not sure where they ended up, but Duel, big wide split here. As you can see, nobody anywhere near Iroh for the time being.
Yeah, it'll be good to see the map as well when we bring it up, to see what teams have taken what drop spots, because again, a lot of the big dogs are not in this lobby just yet, so there are no Falcons in here, there's no Rock in here, so some of the stronger positions are open for these teams to take, and I think Jewel will fancy that. I think, here's the question I always put: do you see it as more advantage for a team that has a really bad drop spot to take Pachinki, to take Picado, or do you think it's better for a team that already has a good spot, but it's just like, I want to get even more dominance in the lobby? Because some teams are playing for qualification, others are just seeing this as solely a warm-up PAS itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think any of these teams, right, you're thinking, you don't want to just drop into Pachinki, right? Just because it happens to be available, because you know that when you get to the later stages, when things really start to matter, you don't want to have gotten used to all of that, and then have to kind of work your way now, do something completely different. Obviously you want to play as close to the same way you can all through the levels here. As we check in with Balefrost, or actually it's Iga, and they hear the vehicles cruising around, and you can see them on your mini map. They're it looks like they're getting scouted out. No shots being sent from Bale or Iga just yet, so it looks like Tony and the rest of Athletes of Christ will go ahead and avoid that for the time being. Maybe just Spidey senses tingling, maybe saw an open door or a vehicle around. That not gonna go ahead and push that just yet.
You know what I love though? We were just watching Iro, and now we've got Irony. NA, the new gen all-stars. Are any of those players new gen to you? Like, we got Finna, we got Shin and Bale. They've been in the scene a long, long time. Finna actually told me when he made his comeback at PNC last year that it's like, you know what? The competitive juices are starting to flow again. He says being back at a LAN was, he got the itch back. He got the drive back, but yeah, I don't think they're new gen, but they've definitely been around enough to see some things that could cause maybe some of the newer gen players some problems.
Yeah, look, they're addicts, man. It's you can't just get that rush anywhere. It's something that once you've experienced it, you're constantly chasing that high again, in the form of just this high level competition. And you know, these are the steps that you have to take to get to that high level once again. And boy, these guys are going to do it as much as they can. Now you see in Bolivia, they have some company here just off to their south, red zone, and they'll be landing off in waves, kind of keep everybody here for the time being. But we'll keep an eye on that, see if any of these teams start pushing each other. I doubt that they'll most likely just do a little tower defense here for the time being, right? This has got to be close to dead center circle.
Yeah, when you're in this position, you don't really want to give it up for that second. Like X10 are pretty close by, so I think they'll be both happy enough with where they are as we jump on board with another team rotating on in. Fearless here, looking over towards that, you know, Dog Hill and towards Pachinki as well. Just keeping an eye out to see if anyone's not too far away. We can see the new gen all-stars. They've posted up over by that barn, but again, this is all just scouting work, right? One of the big things that I saw in the Cups last year was you lose a lot of more players on rotation in like the first 10-15 minutes than what you might see in some of the older school games. But I think as the longer we keep playing this format, the slower that's going to get, right? Because the big thing to me is the game really has now slowed down at times.
Sure. No, it absolutely has. And that's just, I mean, that's natural given the changes that we've had, right? But it also is, it's these guys having to readjust their risk versus reward, how much risk they're willing to take versus how much reward, right? So pushing into a compound like this, when you're in a different perspective, different format, FPP, it's a lot higher risk for a lot lower reward, right? But in CPP, you can kind of do this at a lot lower risk, and even pushing past a rock is dangerous, as Pest Control will find out. Nice seat swap from K-Mine though will get the trade, and now Pest Control going to stop down. No, Gabudo going to find K-Mine, as Gabudo still working that high side rock. Hot and Spicy, are they just going to have to dip on out? It looks like they're still considering maybe sticking around, because they're getting shot from other directions as well now.
Yeah, look, they wanted to pull up. You get that knock on the drive-by, and it's kind of your all systems go to get in the fight. You know, lights out and away we go, I guess, if you want to get a reference for later on tonight. But the problem is, Chupinski's Gabudo hits some big shots, and it forces them off into the distance. Hot and Spicy now. Tail is between his legs as they move on by, and I feel like, you know, it's an opportunity lost for Pest Control. They got the knock, but you got to give all credit to the other side. Gabudo got some great shots, and now you see elsewhere, Dreams from Collector. He was just sneaking up pretty close to Tezan there as well. And Tezan's a team that I'm not this is one of my first experiences of them. It's the first time I'll see Rise and Zin and Makul and Jacksinho, and I'll be curious to see what they're going to bring to the table as well.
Yeah, a lot of question marks, right? A lot of you don't know what to expect from these guys. The longer that these teams have been around, and the more they see each other in these scrim lobbies, you start getting a sense for how different players like to play, right? And how different teams will rotate and behave in certain situations. But then you get teams like Tezan that's in here, or Viejo Pistolero, or Injected, and now all of a sudden there's a lot more question marks, right? You don't really feel as comfortable as maybe you used to, but who still feels comfortable? Haven, Athletes of Christ, still flexing out from that position, making sure that they take shots in. You can see on the mini map, got Kalawi pinned down as the duo. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and reposition, get back together with their teammates now that the new circle is popped. Or are they just hiding? I think they might have just been hiding their vehicles to make sure the tires don't pop.
Yeah, look at that circle. A Pachinki circle to kick off the year here in the Americas as well. As you can see, that a lot of teams are saying Collector. They're diving straight into Pachinki now. The New Gen All-Stars, I think that they're showing a bit more of, the widiness. It's like Bale and Iga. They've got a good spot in that Pachinki farm. So they're going to play that position. It gives them much more of an advantage. But Athletes of Christ, they're in a bit of trouble right now as they're getting crashed hard, and this could be a big problem for them as Viejo Pistolero want to put some work in.
We were just watching that eastern side, but Fana will find Danny. Looks like the other two boys, Haven and LFP, are in vehicles. They're on their way back over. Can they get here in time, though? As Fana is doing his damnedest to hold off this push. Will get the flush onto Danny as well. But now it is Athletes of Christ with one building to their name. LFP has arrived with a bang and will immediately get taken down by Fake, as Fake will get traded off by Haven. So a big fight brewing here, getting third party from the top of the hill. These guys have to be careful with how they push in here.
Yeah, you can see Zuki now, last player alive. He gets the line of sight on the Tony, but is he going to toss it in? There's the stun grenade. You can push off the back, but Fana, he's going to hold it to the other side. Zuki walks in, but they vaults out the window. And now Zuki finds himself trapped inside the bathroom. So defensive nade will be thrown underhand. Tony's going to run right in towards it. And Tony almost taking a bit of damage. I'm surprised he didn't take more. But Tony hits the shots on the Zuki. And Athletes of Christ will get the first team wipe of PAS Cup this year.
And that's why we were talking about them at the beginning of the day. They looked so strong during those scrims. And that is just a very, very clean compound push. That wasn't even a fight that they took. That was a fight that was pushed against them. And they were able to get that 2-2 split back together as quickly as they possible. Didn't even take a knock, I don't think. And now Haven trying to go to that top of the hill. We saw a few shots being sent over there earlier from Vapeskar, but it looks like he is just going to go ahead and keep eyes on that reposition as he is all by himself.
Yeah, and now we're jumping on board with Iroh here from Jules, still just playing on the edge of that Potch Hill, just a little bit further away from it. But you look elsewhere. Inside Pachinki now, you've got Collector, you've got OMG, and not too far away, you've also got a third squad coming in, and it's getting very, very busy inside here. And that's X10 as they're going to push on that northern side of Pachinki as well. The circle now just is about to remove School from position as well.
Sure is. And I'll tell you what, I'm looking here. Plushie got that Car9 in hand. We just saw Collector. They're holding down the middle of Pachinki. Two Bolties in their squad as well. So maybe the Boltie making a comeback here in the early days of PAS Cup. As Vapeskar, now that he has rejoined the rest of his team, feeling a little bit more confident and comfortable in taking shots down onto Athletes of Christ, as they have broken back into another 2-2 split. Still two in the compound, but it looks like they're hopping into vehicles, waiting for this next circle to pop, and it will fall right on top of them. So Haven, LFP, dead center circle. Let's see what they decide to do.
Athletes of Christ is going to be a team name that I'm going to enjoy saying all night long. It makes it sound a bit more aggressive, doesn't it? Whenever you've got that
It's like that Key and Peele skit where it's just like,
Yeah.
where he's like, God is on my side. You're like, oh my God, you got me fighting an actual crazy person in here. Like they feel a little bit more confident than most here. As Liel will try to hold the top of the roof for as long as he can. We'll have to pull down though, as Iroh has spotted him out. Duel just on the outside edge of this new zone. Few shots from Iroh will get him low, but won't get the knock.
Yeah, two of them working there together, like that was Kine and Iroh, but unfortunately they weren't able to get that telling blow, and it allows them back inside. But the thing is now for Duel, they've got to work their way into the circle, right?
Look at he is so nervous that there might be somebody on that other side of that hill there. Just the constant crouch spamming just to make sure that nobody can catch him with a cheeky headshot. But we'll see what happens. Athletes of Christ doing what they can to hold the top of the hill, and so far so good. They've managed to get some good damage down into Train to Go. No knocks, so Train to Go can still try to go for a reposition. You see the smoke wall now coming out though, as they are getting pushed from that north side.
Yeah, the New Gen All-Stars are on their way over, and Iga's got an angle with that bolty, but he misses the first shot, but the spray is a lot better. The Og hitting the shots on the Mafu, and he'll follow that one up with a nade, and you'll see they'll try to get the res inside the smoke, but hearing the nade comes in, they'll let Mafu fall, and that's not really the way the TTG would have wanted to go. And for New Gen, hit and run, baby. Get your shots, get your point, get out of there.
And they had to get out of there as well, as you see another squad trying to leave Pachinki. So good IGLing on their part. Athletes of Christ, meanwhile, they still have Train to Go pinned down in this dip. Mate will continue to lay down that smoke wall as long as they can, and good timing for Athletes of Christ, as looks like NA only are able to take some random pot shots if they see the right angle. Cater nade the tree, but Haven has already moved on, so Train to Go will survive here just a little bit longer.
Yeah, and I think Athletes of Christ are doing the right thing as well. Fall off the back of that fight. It's getting a little bit too hot with potential as a third party. So stay exactly where you were. Play inside the dip, but back inside Pachinki, it is just getting really bright now with all those colors. Like a bowl of M&Ms now. You look as Caution will send it right on inside of the trenches, and they've got New Gen All-Stars for company.
Yeah, Caution not showing much of their namesake, as they were just trying to find somewhere to play, and immediately New Gen All-Stars, they know they cannot allow this to stand. They have to make a push here and try to get rid of these guys as quickly as possible, because otherwise they're going to have a problem to deal with. Finna will get damaged here. Shinboy already taking the knock, but you can see Caution now just down to next Falcon, as, oh no, Cater. Train to Go, their problem's getting a little bit more complicated here. Is Cater going to go down to his own vehicle exploding?
Yeah, it's not what you want to see, but Finn is going to pick up a couple more points for the New Gen All-Stars as he tosses that nade in the smoke, trying to find Falcon, but as you can see, he's a little further left of where those shots are going. Another kill on the board, and I think now is a good time to go for that res, as Falcon will continue to pick up over. That's a really good BZ there. That'll hold him back. That allows you to go for the res. Clever play from the veteran, and look, Finna, he's another player. He's been around a long time. He knows how to play areas of the map like this.
Absolutely, and Falcon doing his best to survive here. Now, the problem for New Gen All-Stars is they've got another team pushing down from the high ground, but Hot and Spicy will find the double. Vapescar and Frost immediately get deleted, and now Hot and Spicy, oh, he's just too much in the end. Take him down, as Caution will also be eliminated there. So New Gen All-Stars holding the line, and they're going to have to continue doing so as more teams are going to start making their way towards their area from Pachinki.
Yes, there's yellow and black tape all over that section of the map, but it's not for Caution. It's for a crime scene after what just happened them over there, and it's points on the board. Balefrost getting one on the board as well, as Tempest will lose one. 14 teams left alive now, as K-Mine, another one of the old school players, is putting in some serious work, but Liel will trade that one back. But keeping an eye on Collector, you gotta be careful of snakes inside of the long grass of Pachinki, and Alvaro will kit that knock and that flush, and jumping back on over now. It's just Conf left standing for pest control.
Hot and Spicy got the double knock and did some damage, but in the end it was a little bit too much for pest control. Ooh, but Conf will find another one, and now Looks like Fear might be down to 1. That blue zone taking a lot as Joshy will go down. Conf just going to try to sprint it. Yeah, make sure you secure that point as quickly as you can. Vapeskr, though, the last player left alive. So a little bit of mutually assured destruction here on the Western Hills.
Yeah, and Conf, that was his last first aid kit as well. So he has nothing left to work with. Vape has 3 in his back pocket, though. So got that little bit of an extra benefit, but it looks like Conf knows exactly where he is. The nade is cooked, it's thrown, it's a bit too long though, and Vape now knows where Conf is. You just got to step on up. Once his first aid goes, you see his head, you step up. Oh my god, the wingmer! The wingmer stopped
denied
it!
him. Oh no. Denied him the point. Well, he still gets to survive, and unfortunately for him, he's not going to find any meds on that dead body. Maybe he finds something here. Nope, doesn't look like it. So Vapeskr, he's got at least got a vehicle. Can he even do anything with this though?
Yeah, but you drive right through Duel. You're going to drive through Duel. Can't. Yeah. Yeah. Like I think he was damned if he did, damned if he didn't there, because you just had a Duel were holding them if you looked at the map. Yeah. Elsewhere, you know, Train to Go came under a lot of fire earlier, but they find themselves in a good little spot inside the circle now. But back inside of Pachinki, Red Rider's in a tough spot. He's being held now by 2 players. The Athletes of Christ, they're going to try to hold down Jewel here on the edge of the circle as well. I think Jewel, they know by the smoke that there's somebody here. Haven is just jumping up to try to get that extra line of sight, but this is a big fight between 2 of the stronger teams in the lobby that's about to kick off.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if Duel still thinks there might be somebody off to the west. You can see Wooly just kind of still looking off in that direction. So this is essentially a 2v4. And as soon as Athletes of Christ figure that out, Duel might be in some trouble, but it looks like they're just going to go ahead and hold their line for the time being. They've got the vehicle for it. They've got the ridge lines that they can still play around. Pentalol not having to make any pushes just yet, as Duel's still a little bit split focused here. As Tazon will try to hold the line, but I Am Bolivia will get the first knock. Nazera immediately traded back. Now Rise will get spotted as well, and he will go down. I Am Bolivia now up to 2 kills, and they have found a foothold in the north side, but they still have to worry about TMP Tempest off to the north.
Yeah, and you can see Finna's getting more points on the board for their side as well from down inside the trenches. But Duel moving up now. You can see a nade in the hands of Fana. He's ready to throw it this way, but Iroh on the other side for Duel. He's focused on the teams leaving Pachinki. There's a knock on the Tutankhamun. That's found by Balefrost. It's trying to be stolen by Iroh, but I think that Iroh might just get some assistance. The blue will confirm it. That's another few points on the board for the New Gen All-Stars. And I'm a little surprised that we didn't see that the Athletes of Christ get more aggressive on that.
That 8 kills, almost 800 damage here for Balefrost. And yeah, Duel has kind of been allowed to just survive there on the edge of the circle, as Balefrost will try to pull off some magic, and he will. It's the 9th kill now for New Gen All-Stars. He's still got the bike there as well in the smoke. Might be able to get back to the rest of the team, as Tempest has now pushed down onto I Am Bolivia. And I believe they are down to 2. Kalawi doing his best here. 2 kills for himself so far. And now Athletes of Christ, they have sprung the trap. 2 down for Duel already. Duel is down to just a couple of guys hiding in the smoke. Wooly will get spotted out. And Athletes of Christ, oh, Haven, that's going to be the first knock. Keen will get him, but he will get immediately traded back. So Athletes of Christ, the job is done. They showed a little bit of patience there. You thought maybe they were letting Duel get away with something, but in the end, the trap springs, and it is effective.
Yeah, look at the north of the circle as well. Finna is going to move on up to try and confirm another kill for himself, as he's getting really aggressive. 10 kills for New Gen All-Stars. They're feeling really good about themselves as things stand. The blue zone should deal with Kalawi, but if I'm Finna, I've got to be very careful. You're pushing towards the shield. That player, oh my god, he catches it by surprise. In this perspective, you should not get snuck up on like that, but Finna wasn't able to break the trap spring. It worked perfect. He's going to fall back, but the main thing is he's still alive and in the server.
And for New Gen All-Stars to get 10 kills and kind of be controlling the lobby the way they are from the position that they were playing from an early point there, that's pretty impressive stuff. As Athletes of Christ, you kind of expect them to do well from the spot that they have, and they have been delivering so far. As the circle will push just off to their east, they still have vision over everything going on to their low side, but Shinboy, though, will still spot Haven, get that knock, and that'll force Athletes of Christ to have to pause here temporarily, as TTG still somehow alive with that duo in that dead center circle, but it looks like they might be not long for this world.
Yeah, then he makes sure that Dad Buff is not going to be much longer inside the server. He's going to get dealt with and cleaned up, but there is another player there. Tony will step up, and Finna turns his attention north now as well, as he looks to take down probably the strong, two of the strongest players from the Cups last year, but Tony will strike back. Damage dealt towards Finna, who's a little bit isolated for his team here, and I'm looking, Paro. That's a dangerous retreat to join the rest of the team, and it looks like Finna is under a ton of pain. More damage taken now as well.
Yeah, so the problem, he wants to go and push. He's trying to pull it as a solo and just try to see if he can get over there and collect a few more points. The problem is that Athletes of Christ Tony just had a free line onto him, as they're still going to try to do a little bit of mortaring, casual, as they are up to 9 kills now. And you can see it's going to be Chapinski trying to make their way in, but they still got everybody up here. Chapinski, it's actually Stokely, okay, took the knock. Will they be able to get him back on his feet? Looks like they will. But now, or wait, that wasn't Chapinski. That was Injected. Okay, Injected.
Yeah.
Trying to make the push. But that's a surprising amount of 4-player teams left alive. I'm still learning the lobby here, chat. Give me a little bit of a break if you can.
I think it's the only esport I know where you come back after like 2 months and every single team name has changed and all the team compositions are completely different as well. Welcome to the wild and wacky world of the Americas, as Chupinski's, they've got a full 4-man up. Like you said, control on the southeast side of the circle, but look at that shift. And this is the aggression. You look on the other side of the circle, the west. This is what made these players so good when they were playing under the team name of Mira last year. They know how to play the perspective. They know how to garner map control. All Fana and Tony are doing is scouting. They know Shinboy and Finna are down. They're just having a look to see where that last player, Balefrost, is playing.
Yeah, I think New Gen realized their situation and were just trying to do as much as they could to go for points here towards the end, if they could. And Balefrost, almost 1,000 damage for him as he continues to push up here. Maybe might be able to take Injected by surprise. A nice grenade though from Stokely will take down Gabudo. So Chapinski trading so far, and they can't commit all of their attention to Injected because they've got one guy left behind, keeping an eye on Athletes of Christ. Good spray from Oracle, but not going to be enough to get the knock.
Yeah, you got to get those knocks as well. These are all big decisions you make. The longer these fights go on, the more you bring FB in, and that's exactly what happens. Balefrost steps up. He gets his kill confirmed, and that's another point. That's point number 12 for them, not including the placements for top 4 as well. Bale is on the move. Haven wipes him out, and we got ourselves a 3-team dance now. Injected of 1 player left standing as Stokely will be up there, but it's Stokely. No play for Oracle as he wipes him out, and Chapinski's will get another on the board. That's just their 2nd kill, and you can bet your bottom dollar now that the rest of the Athletes of Christ are going to try to wrap this one up.
Yeah, this is going to be this is a tough ask here for Chapinski, especially down to just 3. Athletes of Christ just have complete control over every route that these guys could have to get into the zone, and the smoke walls are getting laid down, and the Athletes of Christ, that experience coming through as Fana will find Piero. LFP gets traded, but 3v2. Oracle's going to go down. Luzera will find another one, but 2v1 now. Luzera, he's got the hard cover of the tree. Athletes of Christ, they have a decision to make. They could go for the reses here, as Luzera, he realizes he doesn't have the time for that. He's got to push right into the smoke.
Yeah, and this is a good decision. I like the aggression here, but it looks like Tony has a good idea. Gets another kill confirmed. It is a 2 versus 1. But this is the thing, when you're playing like this, yeah, Tony's won the game. Putting that shield down, Parle, you've won the game. There's no way now that Louis Zera can win it from this position, because all that you've got to do if you're Tony is feed the information on the other side to Fana, and he'll wipe it up.
Yeah, they know exactly where he is, and these smokes, Fana just a jump scout a little bit through there, see if he can spot him. Tony will spot out Luzera, and there you go. The trap gets sprung, and in the end, Athletes of Christ take the first victory of PAS Cup week number 1 with 16 kills.
26 points, but that's kind of the trend that they've been putting in, right? Poro, you looked at the results in the scrims. I think you said they got 200 plus points over 10
Oh,
maps.
yeah, they were just dominant.
They dominated. They dominated the first map today. Like, this is a team that I expect to be in the PAS finals lobby whenever we get that far, and they're going to farm, I think. And even look at New Gen All-Stars, like, really big first game for them too.
Yeah, got to give a shout out. I mean, obviously they finished a little bit lower on the leaderboard overall, but the 12 hold off any approaching teams. They managed to clean up caution very quickly, very efficiently, didn't take any knocks or flushes, and then were able to just kind of keep Balefrost, I think, up in that sniper tower, keeping an eye on Pachinki, and he managed to get almost 1,000 damage by himself. So good game from them. And I mean, what do you say about Athletes of Christ? They just had great position, great fights, a great collapse onto their 2-2 split whenever they were in a little bit of trouble, got pushed and wiped that team very quickly. And then it was just all downhill from there from them. A great first game.
Yeah, and it's what I've seen from them all year last year in the Cups, right? They were a team when they were playing under Mira's name where it was all about map control, dominance, and, you know, if you were a fan of wrestling back then, that kind of ruthless aggression, like, that's what they were all about. They get 26 points. They're going to work on it, but Poro, I think it's really nice to see every team, apart from two, getting points as well in the first game. You know, kills on the board, like Collector, they got a little bit unlucky because they got caught out when they were trying to leave Pachinki, which I think happened to a few teams. But Poro, before we jump into break, anything you want to say before we close the book on our first Erangel of the night?
It's good to see everybody knocking the rust off a little bit, and a nice Pachinki, South Pachinki circle to start things off on Erangel. A good way to get everybody back in the swing of things here. But yeah, I'm excited to see what some of these teams can do. Obviously, one game is not going to be the story, doesn't tell the story for everybody. So we've still got 4 more for these guys to figure things out and see where we end up after one day.
Yeah, well, I think with that, we'll jump in.
Hey everybody, welcome back to PAS Weekly, as we are trying to figure out who's going to be going to these PAS Grand Finals, Gibson. We've got one game in the books, and Athletes of Christ were compelled by a power from on high to dominate that first game.
Dare you say that they were crusading their way through the lobby there, Paro?
They were on a mission from God.
It was their right to win that game, Paro. It was their right. But we said it. We said before the game went that they were one of the heavy favorites. And when you looked at the players they had, like, Fana is incredible. LFP is great. Haven's been a really good player for a couple of years now. I think it's going to be like that a lot. And I think we're going to see them dominate. Like, this is a team, Paro, that I even think they're bad games. They're probably still going to get 3, 4, 5 points because they always go down swinging and pick up kills, even if they do go down. Yeah,
no, I mean they're gonna get theirs. Like they're gonna get their money, and you know, you could say the same thing about NA. Man, I already forgot.
New Gen All Stars.
New Gen All Stars. You kind of say the same thing about them. Duel also, they were looking pretty good there to start things off. Didn't end up getting a whole bunch of points, but they look pretty strong playing from that Pachinki Hill. But we are moving on from Pachinki, and we are heading over to Miramar. Our one Miramar match of the evening brings a tear to my eye. My favorite map, and now we are only getting one match a day. Oh.
Well, I worked cups all year last year. It was just 4 maps. It was just Miramar. It was just Erangel, Miramar, Taego, Rondo, and that was you. That was your night done. And you were like, hey, 4 maps. So this extra map is a blessing for me. Yes, it's Erangel.
It's perspective, right? It's different perspective, although Hazel has the perspective of somebody who missed the call to jump as the rest of his team going around Hacienda. And now he is all by himself over there on the southwest as we look and see where everybody's going.
Yeah. As my teammates in game always say, there's 2 perspectives. There's your perspective and there's the right perspective. And that's just that I've been told all the time.
It's kind of brutal, actually. I don't know.
Yeah. Look, and then I say, well, those who can, those who can't cast. And all I'm going to say is, you know, you and I have been casting for a long time, Paro.
That is true. I am the first one to admit that I am not good at playing this game. But I am good at, you know, if you want to talk about meta and like, okay, maybe we should do this rotation, I'm all over it. If I got to shoot somebody, really, it's just, it's roulette, you know, it's like, maybe I hit, maybe I won't. I am like an all-star at losing a 1v1 by like 14 HP.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what's insane too? And I know that at the time,
Gets a little bit active a little bit early.
yeah, when you saw earlier, was it Hazel that's missed the drop and he's finally found himself in a good position to rotate his way into the circle?
Exactly. He's, you know, it was foresight on the part of Hazel.
You know, funny that we should have new gen all-stars on the screen again, because I want to tell you a story about Finna. Did I tell you about how Michael got me and Finna lost in the, like, scariest, like, Korean horror movie alleyways you've ever seen? Right?
Look, I've only been to Korea once. I think I will take the scariest Korean alleyway over the nicest New Orleans alleyway. But that's just me talking. I don't know. But that does track. That does seem like something that would happen if you leave Michael in charge of as your IGL going through life.
Yeah, so basically what happened was Adam was like, oh, hey, everybody, we're going to this place. We'll meet you all there. And Michael was like, oh, Gibson, Finna, I've ordered an Uber. Get in. Yeah, never again. I mean, all we were missing was the girl from the ring crawling upside down on the wall. That's how creepy. And look, Adam is watching. He knows what I'm talking about.
Nah,
I mean,
that sounds like a cultural experience.
Right.
I think you left. But what are we doing? Yeah, dance on him, Bale. Let Shinboy know that you had to stop down the rotation because you decided to flip your buggy.
Yeah.
And we had to res you. How do you get knocked flipping a buggy? That's interesting.
How do you flip whenever you're driving in third person?
You know, I guess people still look at maps even when they're driving in third person.
That's what the N button is for. You get the bigger map, but you don't have to go full map.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, I guess maybe we should let Shinboy know. This could be some new tech. He's after 8 years, he's not on.
Yeah, I'm sure he knows. I'm sure we cannot teach Shinboy something that Shinboy doesn't know already.
Probably not.
As we look at, we could have another fight kicking off here pretty quickly. So you rotate just on the edge of Monte Nuevo as Alvaro here from, oh my god. Well, he saw the weapon that was in there, Poro, and he kind of decided no. So I'm going to think, was it a DBS, you think?
Oh my god, that's what he was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Hey, well, whatever it was not better than what he's got currently in his pockets. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe somebody else. No, nobody else on his team wanted it either. So I'm guessing DBS.
Yeah.
Well, Kalawi is going to go ahead and spray down the road as New Gen All-Stars try to make their way in. And they are not making their way in for free, and they're going to lose a tire for it, too.
It's been a pretty exciting start to the game for the New Gen All-Stars. They've had a knock. They've lost their tire. Yeah. Well, what would you rather me say?
No, that is what it is. It was an eventful start for sure.
Like, it wasn't bad because nobody died, but it wasn't good. Like, it's just eventful. As LFP from the Athletes of Christ will spot out Frost up in the sky, and I think he's got... I was about to say he's got to be careful with his ammo count. I just saw he's got 228 rounds in reserve. I think he'll be fine for a while.
Look, if you're going to be the guy that takes the top of the mountain, you know you're going to be there for a while. So you better have a lot of bullets in hand. Now, Abdu, on the other hand, now under 100 rounds, but we're going to keep sending it. Frost is just sitting here like, what do I got to do, guys? Like, please. Every team in the lobby is shooting me currently.
Yeah, and everyone's missing, Poro.
And everybody's missing. Well, you know, it is what it is. He made it. He's fine. Look, those are tough shots to hit, and everybody gets bored. You know, like, they've already made their rotation. They're in their spot. They're gonna be here for the foreseeable future. I see Frost. So let me take a few shots. Let people know I'm here, and maybe I get a knock. Who knows?
I just think that he's probably laughing right now as how he's still alive. As he not only is he still alive, he's with the rest of the team. Piero from Chupinski's as well. They got themselves a top 3 finish in the last map, but weren't too active in the kill feed. I think I saw just 2 kills total in that previous map, but they're going to take control of a little bit of high ground here as well as they take that pick up and take full advantage of it. They're going to touch base. I always want to see the ammo counts. Like, the second I see people land on the high ground, I want to know how many rounds they have. I don't think 184 is as much as you really would want to have, particularly with the position they have in the zone as well.
Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal, but you know what? They've got a spot. If nothing else, they're getting great information for the rest of the boys that are coming in. As they see Cam off in the distance there, and few shots being taken by the other duo, the one that's on the move here. As Ace 32. Don't like seeing that, but maybe Gabuto's onto something that I don't know. Oh.
Good night, Tim. Oh, get out of there, Kalawi. Kalawi's gone. Can your teammate get on around the corner as I think Dad Buff just about gets out of there? But for New Gen All-Stars, it's another... Right, they've just been everything. Everything that's happened in the early stages of this game has involved them in some way, shape, or form.
You know, it's amazing what you can do when you consciously think, you know what, or just know that you are one of the best teams in the lobby, and that there's maybe 1 or 2 or 3 other teams that you don't feel like that you think maybe, okay, 50-50 chance that we win in a full 4v4 versus these guys. But every other team in the lobby, we think we could just dominate. And you just have that confidence to just push out and take these. Your risk tolerance becomes so much higher because it's like, oh, or there's no risk to this. Like, even if we take a knock, we're still going to win the fight.
Are you saying it's like the old? Are you saying it's like the old Falcon Sonics rosters whenever they were just like, yeah, we're going to dominate everywhere we look. Speaking of,
when they were like, we've been we've been getting too ready for international competition, and we're giving this lobby too much respect.
Yeah, I always loved that. It was like they'd always, like, in the open quals, that they wouldn't be at the top because they're trying to play the international style. It was like, yeah, that's not going to work here. And then they're like, right, we just got to play this and not show respect, and they'll drop like 100 points in the next few maps. But yeah, circle shift Poro drops down just south of Monte Nuevo towards
a hard south shift too.
And look how clear the very south side is. Like, I'm looking at injectors. They're probably going to take that rotate through Chuma in towards, Brickyard, even maybe further south. They're going to get a lovely clean rotation into the zone, and it's all because of the fact that they were lucky with that shift.
But yeah, injectors, caution, fear, duel even probably going to take that same wraparound as the hard shift down to the south is paying off dividends. Now the teams that kind of put their money on a Pozo finish going to be a little bit upset about this one, but we'll see how they make their way in. As we see now, Taze trading shots with Collector as they're still continuing to make their way through. Just this is a good thing. You can just stop down here and use these hills to just take a few free shots. Maybe you get lucky, maybe you get a point.
Yeah, look, points win prizes. Zuki, though, he'll pick up that point on Defina as he's been a little bit active as well. Zuki looking in the other way now, spots out the members of VO and gets a little bit of damage done, but Alvaro inside, he takes advantage as Yappa will find the knock on the camera. This is not the way that I Am Bolivia wanted that push to go whatsoever, as they're just torn apart.
Yeah, that's rough stuff for I Am Bolivia. I mean, they did the 4-man crash, assuming that they would catch these guys in a 2-2 split, and they were right. The unfortunate part is that they stuck around too long on the outside, didn't have the smoke walls laid down early enough, and this was just an easy third party from New Gen All-Stars. And hopefully they can at least get their knocked players back on their feet, as OMG down to just 2. Alvaro and Tutankhamen just holding the line right now, as I Am Bolivia going to go for the reset.
Yeah, Tutankhamen dips into the cover here along with Alvaro. As you said, I Am Bolivia using the opportunity to just get some form of reconsolidation back up. I think they've got 2 players back alive and on their feet, but if I'm OMG, I want to clean this up quickly, right? You know that the 2 of them are there. You cannot live this close to another team, particularly in this perspective, for so long without something really problematic going your way. And even bigger problem, all these vehicles, you'd assume the tires are going to get popped here as well.
Yeah. I mean, that is definitely a problem. That is a problem for future them, though, as they have to worry about their current issues of trying to survive here for a little bit longer. Injected, meanwhile, you mentioned earlier that they're making that wrap down to the south, but it looks like they saw something that put them on pause to at least take a few shots. Collector kind of in the same boat. Caution, you can see them just on the mini map off to the east in a 2-2 split. Collector, I think this is just them peacocking a little bit, and yeah, you can see Hazel just keeping eyes on things uphill, while Cater doing the same here to Chapinski.
Yeah, you can see Cater just trying to scout out and get that information, and the vehicle will go out into the open, switches over to the Dragunov, but for Cater, just the timing wasn't quite there. But the circle shift isn't actually that bad for them now. Yes, they're outside the circle, but they don't have that far that they need to migrate to make their way in. Monte Nuevo now inside the circle. Brickyard there as well. You spoke about injectors. I think that they saw the rotate of caution, and maybe that's what made them hold back. And you can see now that they're looking to hold duel on the edge of Chuma as we get that move in towards Monte now from Train to Go.
Could be, yeah. And a lot of teams off to the north here after getting involved in these kind of drawn out scraps. Montenuevo city crash looking pretty tasty as we see Train to Go continuing to make their way through the city, keeping eyes on that high ground to make sure that they don't get caught slipping. Meanwhile, this is Viejo Pistolero trying to survive here, hold off this new gen All-Stars push, but they're not going to do well here as Jappa going to go down to Ego.
Yeah, that's a good knock there from them as Jaga will continue to climb. Zuki will look to do the same on the opposite side as his nade will find 39 damage. Is not quite enough, but for Iga, you get up as high as you can. It means that the players cannot see you from below, and Zuki just trying to use his utility, but as Iga can just get closer and closer, he can cause a world of pain for Zuki, who's trying to climb the ladder as well. That's a good nade, and that's an even better one, even more damage dealt than, well, for Zuki now, he will fall. Iga gets the second knock as the rest of Viejo Pistolero start wrapping up from the other side.
It's just nice comms there from New Gen All-Stars, and now they know that the rest of Pistoleros have arrived. They are on that low side, low ground, and they are being forced to stay there, and they're getting third-partied as well by a team off to the east. You can see the shots coming through. I'm not sure who it is that's taking those, but they are in a little bit of trouble. It might actually be Athletes of Christ. They were kind of hovering around in that area. It might be Fear as well, but either way, New Gen All-Stars will hold on to their high ground at the cost of losing Finna.
Yeah, Finna is down and out, but there's still 3 players up. They have kills on the board as we turn our attention to Collector now, who do have Tae-san rotating not too far away. Tae-san didn't quite have much of an impact on that first map of the day, but they're hoping that a change in location could lead to a change in fortunes. OMG as well. They're still locked in that little fight we saw earlier, but that's a big need. Tossed on up and Rise just about gets out of the splash zone.
Just a little bit off there. Red Rider. And now the retaliatory grenade going to just go a little bit too far. Another one comes through, gets a little bit more damage onto Rise as he's down to half HP. The rest of the team not really in a position here to support them and clean out that south side. Meanwhile, OMG, you knew that this was going to have to come eventually. I Am Bolivia trying to clear out what's left of OMG. And Tutankhamun got that shotgun in hand, will retreat up the stairs, will go down, but will get traded by Alvaro.
Yeah, that was really clever there from I Am Bolivia as well. They were running back and forward across the door to try to bait out the shots to work out where the player is without necessarily putting themselves at too much of a risk. But both teams should be regrouping. Both teams should be going for those rests, but that is... Right, do you want to tip? You want to tip, Paro? Always throw your nades in first-person perspective, because in TPP, it doesn't quite always work the way you'd want to. Alvaro, he's going to hop on out. King Tut will jump out the other side. He gets the kill on the Nazera, and that is I Am Bolivia. Well, I am out of this lobby now, as we're down to 15 teams.
It's a really nice hold from I Am Bolivia, and you could see, I mean, you could just see when they were kind of running around, or I'm sorry, a really nice hold from OMG. I Am Bolivia, you could see there's just a little bit of trepidation on their part. It almost looked like they were nervous to take that fight at the beginning and at the end there, as they were just pushing us too. So maybe being a little bit too cautious. We'll have to see a little bit more bravery coming out from them in the next 3 maps here, as Athletes of Christ holding on to their warehouse, as Pest making their way through. 1 down already. Joshi will go down as well, as the kill feed is lighting up. A number of teams scrapping here on the outskirts of this zone. Goodness.
They're called Pest Control, but they could not get the rats out of the building, as Athletes of Christ will pick up all those kills. And I said it, a bad game for them is still 4 points plus, and they've already got that. So everything from this point on is just them getting better and better. X10, they're coming under fire from the injectors as Stokely gets that angle onto Franz. Now, here's the thing. This is a really hard push for injectors. The blues at your back, you have nothing but open ground in front of you. Like, X10 will be disappointed here if they don't get at least 1 or 2 points off of the injectors.
Yeah, we'll see how injectors can hopefully use their smoke, try to find some way in there, but it's going to be tough, as you said. Heaton, meanwhile, for Train to Go, trying to survive a push will get his toesies burned here a little bit. We'll have to drop out. Dad Buff not looking for the flick, and there it is. Kalawi, though, will be there to finish him off. So Tempest averting disaster there temporarily.
And Injectors, we kind of thought that they might lose one on the way through, and that is the case, but they get across, and they're pushing up towards Taysat. Now, Jacksinho, he's got a line of sight, and that's a good spray from Jacksinho. He'll find one on the plushie, and now it's just one player left standing. Jacksinho thought about pushing, and then realized either got the call from elsewhere or decided it's not worth pushing too far. And Baparo, look at that shift. Look at how good that is. I'm going to say OMG are one of the best placed teams, right? Because yes, New Gen and Caution are in the compounds in the center of the circle, but they're in a dish. Like, they're down in the depths in the middle. It is going to be hard for them to get a lot of kill points, but you know what? When it comes to placements, they're really well pushed.
Yeah, I mean, OMG, they are down to a duo, so they're going to have to play it a little bit cautiously, especially considering they have the 4-man of Duel. And if Duel can take care of Taze, and that's going to make things a little bit easier, as Stokely will get an initial knock before going down. But Taze now down to just one, as Hidden is going to get knocked by a nicely placed grenade from Pentalol, and Duel is doing a really good job of holding this high ground.
Yeah, and that's what you'd expect from a team like Duel with the experience they have. Wooly will get that kill confirmed on a Jacksinho, but now Viejo Pistolero. Great spray from Danny. He's going to be able to find himself a one on the board. Gets that point, and he's still alive with Fake. But you've got one more.
Oh, what happened here?
Player. Nothing good, Paro. Nothing good.
I mean, we were just singing Athletes of Christ praises after holding that warehouse, but they had to make a push in, and then looks like Pistolero did a really good job of holding them at bay. And now LFP, the last one left. He's got the Panzer in hand, trying to catch somebody slipping. He's looking in the windows. Fake, not peeking just yet. Oh, Fake, he's watching him. LFP dancing around. Oh, there you go. Nice spray from Danny. And that will take out Athletes of Christ. So that's a big name down.
Yeah, but I said their bad games are still 4 points, and they got 4 points. So
take it.
They'll still be top of the leaderboard, barring you see something crazy from the New Gen All-Stars over the course of the rest of this map. No more blue chips, so if your team is down and out, you're not able to get anyone back in, as Caution will find another kill on the X10, and Falcon as well gets the angle, and that's not going to be a flush. You know, this is just the two guys shaking fists at each other from either side of a fence, but they're not really going to be able to do any damage to each other, because neither one of them want to give up this position.
No, absolutely not. And Caution for being in that low ground spot and just doing a little tower defense here, kind of turtling up. They're actually getting some points here. So 3 points for them so far. Lil Sui will hold on to a Fearless now. I think read the room. They see X10 is in trouble, and they will finish them off with that blue zone grenade from Vapeskir. So Fear get their first 2 kills, and they have control over Brickyard. We'll see if the circle allows them to stay there, or will it pull them away?
I think a center like a donut is probably the worst case scenario for most of these teams. I think NA and Caution will be the only teams happy with that, and that is really good for them. Fearless, they should have a vehicle though, Poro, right? They should have some way to crash, but I'd say the likelihood is the most realistic crash from a safety standpoint. Would you say it's towards New Gen? Because it's tough to push Caution. It's hard. Either one of them's hard.
No, I think Caution is actually probably the better push to make here, because if you push as 4, there's just too many buildings for Caution to have to defend. And if you can get in there early, make sure you lay the smokes down so you don't get third partied.
Yeah.
And just try to push in as a death ball, and maybe you can catch Caution slipping. That's probably your best option here, because otherwise anything else that you're going to push down there, Caution is going to third party. So it's any way you look at it, it's going to be tough for Fear.
Yeah, well, every team in the lobby is going to be looking at them whenever they make that push. Like the 2 teams above, they'll be looking at it.
Yeah, Duel has free reign over the high ground here. It's asking a lot.
Yeah, so we'll watch Viejo Pistolero, 3 kills on the board, but those 3 kills were onto your lobby leading side. And that was, of course, the Athletes of Christ. But Gabudo putting a tag on the fix, and this is not what he needs. He needs to push in the Brickyard. They're trying to catch that push from Fearless, and they're making their move, and they are going to go for that crash, but at the same time, caution, stand tall. First player's going to get knocked. That's a good one from Frost, though. Great Panzer. The nade drops to the feet of Liel, but Shinboy is there. He gets the knock on the Frost, and it's all down to Vape.
Yeah, I mean, this is the smoke walls are coming out. Unfortunately, I don't think they had the M79, so there's just not really a way to prep that as well as they could have hoped. Vape will continue to throw down those smokes. Maybe can try to go for a gutsy revive here. As
going for it.
Yeah, go for Frost. Lil Siu is just holding on, listening for footsteps, but he's just not hearing anything with those smokes going.
Yeah, the smoke is going to dissipate very, very soon, but they've got one res. They might get the other one, and all of a sudden, what looked like it could have been worst case scenario is looking really good. That's an excellent stun grenade as well, stopping the blue zone from being thrown perfectly out the window at the first attempt. But for caution, they're going to be really disappointed. But Viejo Pistolero on the other side of the road, they're wiped out. Falcon and Iro get one kill each on that one. But you know what? I think that wasn't that bad at all at the end, you know, on the push. And here come Fearless now, pushing on up to get the knock on the Lil Suri as well. This is excellent from Fearless.
Yep, this is exactly, I mean, it's not 100% how you draw it up. You hope that you can keep all four alive, but they managed to get the reses. Really good stuff from them. And as you said, it's too big of a compound for Caution to try to hold out when everybody's split up as they are. So Fear gets in there, they survive, and now Duel is going to try to get rid of OMG Alvaro, the last one left up, as Tutankhamun is going to get finished off. And yeah, he's just alive by the grace of that smoke. Nobody is looking over towards Duel. Although Chapinski starting to make their way over, and I think Duel knows it. Yep, Penta's looking.
Yeah, Penta, you got to get yourself in a bit of cover, and that's exactly what he does with that shield. And he's going to hope that Tempo on the other side, or Tempest, sorry, are going to do him a favor as they move up towards Chapinski as well. Dad Buff, though, he's caught out by Iro, a great angle, and well, OMG are wiped on out, and Duel get another one, but Kine and Penta have both been knocked here.
Oh, that's bad news for Duel. This was looking like a game where they could maybe farm a little bit, collect some points, but maybe a little bit of split focus, allowing Chapinski to make their push over from that northern side. Now Iro is solo holding these guys off. Oracle, almost gets caught in that vault animation. And Iro, he's got no ammunition left. He's only got 18 rounds left in his M4 to try to hold these guys off.
Yeah, he needs some help from Wooly here. Wooly's got to step up and do something. Penta still down, but as you can see, Wooly cannot step up. He does get a kill confirmed on the Gabudo as we get into our top 5. Iro, 18 rounds though, Paro. That's still the problem. He's got eyes on. He's got one nade, a couple of stun grenades. That's a really good stun grenade from Iro. Tosses another one as well. But Paro, like, he can't win. 18 rounds? You just cannot win this.
Yeah, Chapinski just they know the situation. Good push from them. And really, really well done on their part. They only lose Kabuto in the process. And I mean, it was looking like Duel could have them held up, but I think it was just maybe a little bit of greed on the part of Duel, having that high ground and looking down at the bottom, trying to see if they could maybe third party something, and just didn't put as much of a priority on the push from Chapinski. If they had all four over there looking at that direction, they might have been able to hold it off, but in the end, Chapinski takes it and they have the high ground for a little bit. We'll see if they're forced to push down, as they are already pre-smoking.
I think the words are, they'll be coming down the mountain when they come, and that's exactly what they've got to do. But I think for them, the fact that you've got multiple teams looking your way, ideally you'd want Caution and Fearless to fight a game, but that ain't going to happen when you got yourself essentially clay pigeon shooting teams coming down the hill. Frost will get the knock on to Luizera. Piero is up there trying to lay down some covering fire for the rest of his team while they try to get that res off, and Piero is being a sacrificial lamb here, and I love it.
Yeah, no, this is Frost almost caught one slipping there. Yeah, just this ego peak battle from Frost, peeking from the exact same spot every single time, not switching it up at all. But he is forcing Chapinski to stick around. As you said, Piero just in a little bit of trouble. Nice spray will take down Falcon. So 650 damage now. for Fear, as Alka now trying to make a decision here. Frost still holding that high ground, and Fear gonna go ahead and smoke things off, realizing that they've got Caution down to 1, and Alka will try to defend this push down as best he can.
Yeah, Piero actually managed to drop down as well. Took a little bit of damage, but he's still alive and kicking. This is all pretty nice for Shinboy, as the other 3 teams are all essentially taking shots at each other, as he looks to maybe get 1-2 placement points extra out of the back of this one. But for Louisera, I think just smoke it out, work out your next steps, and I think this is the right thing to do, right? As you said, when you don't have the M2, the M279, you can't shoot the smokes at the windows. You just got to smoke your way down the old way, and this is exactly what they're doing.
I mean, it's very fortunate for them that they had as many smokes as they did. Probably picked up a couple off a duel, as Frost will find one. Vapeskar gonna find another, and that might be it for Chapinski. It looks like Piero maybe fell down a little bit too far. Shinboy looking to see if he can go for the flush. One res will come through at least. So Chapinski not out of it just yet, as Fear still trying to see if they can make their way across, and they will. After getting that knock on the Falcon, they know that Alka is in that one little spot. Shinboy will get taken down by Luzera, as Chapinski has managed to make their way down.
For now. They're still not all the way. They're still not all the way down. There's one player left standing. It's a 3v1v1. Fearless have played a blinder. Look, Poro, if Fearless win this, you're going to say, if you show a screenshot of what happened then like 10 minutes ago in the crash, you're going to say, yeah, Fearless don't win this game. It don't matter. They've pulled their way back from the brink. Vape spots the last player standing. That's the kill on Chapinski, and it's all down to Alka. He's wiped as well, and nobody remembers how you win, Poro. All they remember is that you won.
Absolutely. No, that was a very, very good game played there by Fearless. Obviously, the biggest moment in there coming from that crash across the road, and they pulled it off. I mean, it was very, very close, but they end up losing only one, as Caution just not able to hold it off by themselves. They didn't get a lot of third-party help either, because other teams were too busy with their own problems. So Fear, a combination of just honestly fearlessness, making that push and getting a little bit of good fortune going their way, with the fact that nobody else in the lobby could really third party onto it.
Yeah, it just worked out their way. But other ways around the table, I am Bolivia, not with the strongest game. You got to say the same for Collector. 2 back-to-back donuts for them. We'll see them bottom of the leaderboard as we just about tick over the 40% mark of the night. But Poro, I'm looking, right, as we get ready to jump into the overall leaderboard. I think that things are getting really tight at the top. Like Athletes of Christ, they're on top. It's because of the great work they did on Erangel earlier. But look at the jump for both Fearless and Chapinski's now. Yeah, those 2 great performances from them back to back. Obviously, 10-0. I mean, if you're in double-digit placement points after 2 games, you're happy, right? And Fearless with the win, Athletes of Christ with the win, and Chapinski, they've got 11 placement points overall without a win. So that's 2 good games in a row from them. 11 kills. Obviously, you would like to see that pumped up a little bit, but for 2 games, that's good. That's right where you want to be. You're happy. 3rd overall, 22 points, looking pretty good. Duel, despite the fact that they haven't been able to really find the late game, and I feel Duel's going to be kind of kicking themselves, because I feel like they maybe could have gotten a lot more out of that last game. But the first game was decent. This game could have been a little bit better, but you're still feeling confident, right? You're still feeling like you're one of the better teams in this lobby, and I think I'm expecting to see more of Duel, and I expect them to see them at the top of the leaderboard when this is all said and done. Yeah, I think you're right. And at the end of the day, there's still 3 maps left to go on as well, so a lot will change in that leaderboard between now and the final map of the night, which I think you said we'll be finishing on Erangel later on. But it's been a good start for some teams. It's been a poor from others. I think for the likes of Collector, regroup, get yourself ready. But Poro, I think it's time that you and I jump into a little quick break, and when we come back, we'll change our landscapes once more. We'll be back in a few minutes. welcome back, everyone, to the PUBG America Series Weekly Cup. Of course, we were talking about cups during the break and all the different types, but this is the most important cup series of the year, Paro, because this qualifies you for PAS. No World Cups here. PAS is what it's all about.
PAS is the only thing that matters, by God. And you know what? Athletes of Christ, speaking of by God, after that stunning victory in game number 1, fall a little bit short in game number 2, still got 4 kills, but at the end it was fearless with their fearless push across the road and just completely just putting a death grip on what was left in the lobby. It was always going to be a tough push down from Chapinski when they had that high ground, and credit to them, they almost made it all the way. They almost did. But unfortunately for them, Fearless was on top of things, managed to put themselves in a good position, and took them out before they could become a further problem. So we are now going into match number 3, and another map.
Yeah, another map. We're going to Taego this time around, and the flight path's a pretty northern one, going over that northern island. I'm going to say it right. See, as an Irish caster, saying Northern Ireland is really hard, because like you default... You default to say like Northern Ireland. It's like, no, Northern Ireland. They're on the Northern Island. It's part of the island, but it's not. Anyways, Paro.
Oh, man, why can't you just speak English?
Look, I've been trying to speak English my whole life, and I still don't quite do it.
Brother, I grew up in Texas and Louisiana. I know that. I know that feeling viscerally.
The positive is, at least the Americans understand the Irish accent a lot better than like people who are native speakers from Eastern Europe. Like, they struggle with the Irish accent, and this is me toning it down, Paro. I could go so much more Irish, but I can't. But I gotta behave myself for this.
I might be in trouble then if you start going more Irish. Jeez,
you're gonna go.
I could go more Texan, and that's just, everybody understands what I'm saying. They just don't understand the words. They hear the words, but they don't understand the words when I say like I'm fixing to and used to could and all these different things. Yeah.
You fixing to cause some problems on the broadcast. Is that what you're saying?
It might be. You never know. You never know. Well, there you go. Northeastern circle to start things off. So we're not going over to the Northern Ireland, or now you got me second guessing it. Now I'm overthinking it. But just off to the west of the airport is where we'll center up.
Yeah, this is a. You were talking about this is fixing to be a fun circle, Paro, because it ain't quite what a lot of these teams would have wanted, right? You talk about it now, 50% of the circle is unenterable, right? Anything on the east of Jewel, you don't get it from that side, so you've got limited access. Yes, of course, e-pickups changed the game a few years ago when they were added, but in reality, you're not going to enter from very certain angles. That means the teams that are in the circle already are able to set themselves up and maybe catch out some teams on rotation. But I'm looking at Terminal, right? Because you've got Collector there, and I believe that is NA, if I'm not wrong. That's right beside them with a 3-1 split. And is kind of holding ground a little further north from the rest of the team. But I think this standoff will last a lot longer than you'd expect, only because it's in the circle, right? Neither of these teams are overly forced to push. If any team is going to move first, you'd nearly argue to be NA to go join Finna if he gets in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that the textbook on how to play a terminal split has been pretty well written at this point by some of the best teams in the world. So if you're going to do it, you should at least spot that out and try to figure out how exactly teams like Twisted Minds and Na'Vi play that. As we see Tayson, well, maybe not Tayson, maybe just Rise all by himself against Pest Control, but the rest of the gang is coming. And one knock here onto Conf as Rise trying to, oh man, this is scary. What is, and Pest Control's not really doing anything about it.
You
can't lose that, Rise.
Oh no. His sixth sense was there too. He knew that Joshy was around, but Pest Control, well, you know, they say they're Pest Control. They're the ones that are supposed to kill rats, but they're the ones that ratted out hard there, and they wipe out most of... I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that Fear aren't the only team left alive with 3 players up, as we see Tayzan drop to just 1. But that's worst case scenario, right? You lose 3 players in the early stages, you're not going to get their blue chips. Like, You're down to McCool, and this is just a salvation game from him from this point on.
Yeah, that's really rough. That's really rough. I mean, if he wins that, if he takes down Joshy, all of a sudden he's got that building. He's got a spot for his teammate to push into, and all of a sudden things could be a little bit different. But such is the way it go. As I Am Bolivia, a little bit of a slow start so far here. He's going to hear Caution making their rotation out of terminal off to the north, or the hills just off to the south of him. He's got nobody else really near him. You can see he's looking off in the background to make sure nobody is peeking over his teammate as they will regroup.
Yeah, we're just watching I Am Bolivia, as you said. You know, what have you made of their night so far, right? Because you look at the leaderboard, they're not really at the top bar. You got to look all the way down to 15th if you want to find where they're at, and the point tally isn't looking too good. But it's kind of surprised me because I think I've seen Nazira playing before, and they qualified here. Like, they played in the scrims, they qualified and earned the right to be here, but they've really not got themselves going at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a slow start for sure, but again, like we talked about the teams in here, a lot of veterans in here, but even still, these guys are, I would still classify them as fairly new, right? Like it's still, you're still learning a lot how to play here, and it all comes down to those one plays. Like in game 2, it was a full crash onto a compound with 2 guys in it, and the slight mistake of not having smokes ready to make that push, they get third partied and they just kind of get taken out really quickly. So it's one mistake, and now you just get to sit there and think about that while the rest of the game plays out. And now you're getting into game number 3 and hoping that you can maybe pull something out, as Mackle is finding Tazon in the same boat essentially right now.
I'm wondering if he'll get some revenge, right? Like, you look at him, he's Baego Doc. I think that Pest have made the educated decision that this is probably where McCool would have went, wondering if he had one of those blue chips, but he's just going to stay prone, right? I think for McCool, do not kill unless you're guaranteed, like, don't shoot unless you're guaranteed that point, because you can get points from placements a little later on. But yeah, here we go, hot and spicy. He's going to walk on in and he's going to get taken down. McCool will go in there, confirm your kill and get the hell out of dodge. But no, Paro, why has he crossed the road? He almost falls as Joshy sprints for revenge. But here's the thing, Pest Control win this fight, you bring your teammate back straight away.
Yep, unfortunate. Oh, he's gonna let him know. Give him the whole clip. Yep, Joshy. Well, at least you know what, he got a point, and in that situation, you hope for more, but you can't be too upset about it, as they'll sit here and wait this one out. And as you said, Pest Control can just bring their man back immediately. So we'll keep an eye on them after that full team wipe. Not a bad start here from Pest Control, as they continue. They're going to climb up the leaderboard a little bit more, sitting in 11th place overall. Is Duel. Ooh, Duel going to lose Keen. But they will pick up Dad Buff.
Yeah, and as we said as well, you look at the other side, Pest Control will be able to use that blue chip tower, bring him back. But will he? No kills on the board. And you know that people talk about nostalgia players that they see and it reminds them of when they kind of first got into things. Did you know that my first ever paid casting gig, Wooly was playing, and it was a Norwegian PUBG league. Wooly is like the celebrity, and I'm telling you, he's a celebrity in Norway. Everybody was
Grinder, man.
He was coaching in North America for, it wasn't even PAS back at the time, it was PCS. But he was also playing in Norway. Ooh. He's a GOAT. He's one of my favorites.
Man loves the game. And he doesn't love to see his teammate go down there, as Abdu will land some spicy shots there on the Iro. Penta will drop the smoke wall, try to get his man back on his feet. You can see Wooly off in the distance trying to take out more of him. He's going to find him too. Kalawi going to go down. So that'll be another one picked up from Wooly, and we'll see if Iro gets brought back, and he does, as this just I don't feel like either team really wants this fight, but Hooligan's going to find Iroh with the grenade follow-up, and now Penta knows that he has uninvited company right on top of him.
Yeah, Hooligan should throw that nade directly towards the smoke, as both of them are going to toss nades either way, but Hooligan will throw a great confirmation nade onto Iroh. Steps out in the open, shots from Wooly on the other side, but Penta should get dealt with. Abdu finds that one. Wooly falls, and, well, the dumbbells have been dropped. Jewel are out. They're wiped by Tempest. And, you know, we kind of spoke about how we expected them to grow, you know, climb the lobby more and improve. Well, they've been taken down by Tempest.
Yeah, that was a rough one too, because I think that was Tempest doing a emergency pickup, and they just happened to land right on top of Duel while they were split and doing finishing up their looting. So you know, they managed to get a couple of them, but in the end, good shots from Abdu and a good aggressive push from Hooligan is enough to finish off Duel. So you gotta give Tempest credit where it's due. Train to Go meanwhile trying to push in, and I think they know that they've got somebody from Collector here. It's gonna be Hazel. Tries to escape in the vehicle. Mate is right there. There you go. Hazel will get taken down.
Yeah, more points on the board, and we see, oh my god, eliminated as well. So we're down to 13 teams. So
my god.
The tempo on Taego is quite a bit higher so far. As we see TTG, another team that's not really got up and running so far on the night, but Viejo Pistolero, they're going to toss that nade into there. Remember, this is the team that wiped them out last time, and they're looking to do it again. Great nade from Yappa. We'll find the double, leaving it all down to Fana now. He's tucked in the corner, sprays towards one, gets the shots onto Yappa, gets another one. It's pure fantastic.
No
a
shot.
Third on the dot, and he's only got one player left to deal with. This is huge from the young gunner. He's going to be able to get some meds on here as well, but that went really bad for Viejo Pistolero.
Wow, like what do you expect though? You don't, I mean, Fana with the individual, just beautiful gameplay from him. Now, can he get his men back on their feet? I mean, look at Fake is off in the distance, but he's being held off by Caution, so he can't even, he's going to make the run now, but Alka is looking over in that direction as Fake tries to push in here, tries to see if he can maybe get a, oh, there it is. That's what we were worried about. Lil Suey will be the one that gets him, but the grenade will be enough to flush out Haven.
Yeah, and that's going to be Athletes of Christ back up to 3 now as well, off the back of a huge play from Fana, as he's able to hold down the line for his team. 4 points for them. So remember, again, it's that bad game point number for them has always been just 4. So everything from this point on is going to be a bonus. But Paro, 12 teams left alive. You can see it in the fields. You've got Caution here. You've got Injectors. You've got the Athletes of Christ all bunkered down. And not too far away from that as well, I think that's Kamba and the rest of I Am Bolivia as well.
Man, Fana bailing his team out on that one. Here's Caution now. They're kind of sniffing around. They managed to catch that one player, that last player trying to make the push, and they're thinking about doing something, but those shots will push them right back in. So Plushie will force Caution to continue play a little bit more tower defense. Here's Oracle all by himself. He's going to hear the engine here from Conf. Oh, that's an easy spray and an easy knock and an easy point for Chapinski.
Yeah, they've been quietly impressive so far on the night as well.
Free vehicle delivery.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's not the way I would personally treat my Uber driver, but whatever floats your boat, Oracle, as he moves on out the blue zone, pushing past inside. They did get everybody back on their feet, Paro. But with the blue, with it being phase 2, it's not too big of a problem. And as we look at the map, the shift, it goes nicely towards Tempest on the north side of that import. And we really have been hugging that eastern wall of the map all game around.
No, absolutely. And it's worth noting for Tempest. I mean, they know this, right? They have to know that actually they were one of the teams that dropped on the far west. So I think they may have picked up here or made the long rotation, but they know that their eastern side is clear because nobody else has made their way through. As unfortunately for Dreams, he's going to run into bad territory here. New Gen All-Stars still just playing around on the ridges, keeping eyes off in the distance for Earth. Got back on his feet. We'll try to make the cross on the bike, but the spray is just going to be too much for now. Oh, AK from Finna. Yep, too much. There we go. 4 Earth will go down, and so will Collector in the end, as some things changed, Gibson, but the propeller on the Porter will remain the same.
I thought you were going to say some things changed, but Collector will still get 0 points, but I guess you were a bit nicer than that, Barlow. I know, that's why I was so confused. I thought you were going to be mean. I was like, no, he's actually being fine, but yet it's no points on the board for Collector so far, as other teams have been collecting points off of their backs. But Athletes of Christ, Tony is going to get knocked for the second time. And I think that for them it's going to be oh my god, great shot from Choppy, just threading the needle with that mini. And Fana is going to have to get to work again as he puts his healing hands on his teammates. But this time, it is Fear. And this time, they're being a bit more aggressive. But can Fana and the rest of Athletes of Christ stand tall again?
It's not a full 4-man push, though, from Fear. It's 2 right up on top here. Vapeskir and Frost trying to make their way in. But Fana able to get his players back towards that hard cover is... He is really just he's really just keeping his team alive. Lay on hands is getting a lot of use. Use as Frost 4 kills, 266 damage. He's going to continue just kind of playing around the edge, and I think Fearless, they want to do this, but they also are aware that Caution is over there, and Caution, they already managed to take out 1 with their positioning over here, and yep, Vapeskir going to have to push back down.
I think Fear are pretty lucky as well when you look at the, if you look at where all the other teams are located, there's nobody to their south. They're completely free to focus on this fight. The only thing they have to worry about is Caution peeking from the other side if they do elect to push over one of these little grooves that we have in the fields. But I think that Caution, they're just keeping an eye on all sides. We're getting ready for that next zone shift, Paro. This is one that's really going to set the cat amongst the pigeons. A south shift would be perfect for these teams, but it's going to go north.
That's rough. That is rough. And Caution immediately going to retreat to that UAS. We'll see if they can find their way out. If they head off to the east, they should have a pretty easy path here. And you can see still a lot of ridges to play in those fields just to the south of the TMP compound. The Kalawi actually going out there and trying to get something off of this care package drop with pest control looking over in that direction. So keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Chapinski also a really good position in the hills off to the north. And A is going to try to wrap around in that direction as well. Athletes of Christ, against all odds, by the grace of Fana, are still in this one.
Yeah, he's had some divine intervention of his own this game so far, and dad buff from Tempest. Remember, they won the fight earlier on with Duel, and now they're trying to lock things down. Injector moving in next door. Not necessarily what Tempest wanted, but they will deal with it, at least for now. Everyone else making their way in. NA wrapping up towards that northwestern side. They're going to push close to X10. Injected. Well, I think for them, consolidate position. Like, you don't want Simplicity to move too far and try to hold too much ground, particularly when you've still got 37 other players alive and kicking in the lobby. But here comes EGA, and that's a great opening knock from Beal. X10, they're in trouble.
Oh my god, he read him like a book. Balefrost catches him before he can even peek around the corner, and X10 all of a sudden now down to just 1. He's got a grenade in hand. We'll try to send a few back. Oh, Shimboy has to retreat though. Cater and TTG have an angle on this, but that grenade will be enough to take down X10. Very quick work there from New Gen All-Stars. Although now they have to reset. We'll see if Train to Go actually want to... No, they Train to Go. They've got a compound. They just had an angle onto this, so this should be a pretty free reset for NA.
Yeah, and look at the space they've opened up for themselves here on the northwest side of the circle as well. This is looking so good for the New Gen All-Stars. Not only that, Poro, they're just 3 points behind the Athletes of Christ. And arguably, they've got the better position because Athletes of Christ are still in this fight. And just as we speak about them, they're locking hordes out with Caution. Alka, oh my god. Kamba and Tony combined, 2 different teams, but the result is the same. Caution fall. And that makes the movement a little bit easier for Athletes of Christ. It also extends that gap by 1 more point as well.
Yeah, this is... I am Bolivia kind of playing it slow from the south side, and they've been able to avoid Athletes of Christ for the time being. They do manage to take one off of caution. You can see they're hesitant to leave that hard cover, that compound, because Train to Go taking shots over in that direction. Another north shift as the Tempest compound will get love once again. They did lose one player who tried to go for that care package drop on the north side. Pest Control took him out, so Tempest now down to 3, and as a result, Injected is able to make their way into the north side of that compound. I think the biggest problem right now is you see New Gen All-Stars, they had that hillside off to the north, but now that hillside has been kind of cut out, so they have to make a decision about how they want to approach Chapinski here, either take that fight or avoid it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map, and like the options, as you said, are really limited. They're not going to go south because there's just too much traffic. So you either push in towards Chapinski's, you use smoke walls, you cut off those lines of sights, and you kind of throw up a wing and a prayer. Or the other option is you go to the extreme north, you take the fight to somebody like Pest Control, but they're going to be waiting for that as well because they've got full lines on the south. But the migration does begin. I Am Bolivia on the move. Nazira is going to get dropped. Heaton finding that one. He's starting to heat up just a little bit here. Louis Zera fight. Tempest actually under pressure as well. But what a... Oh my god, the mortar strikes Poro. That's going to slow down NA up on the other side.
It certainly is. As Train to Go has just been causing havoc here for I Am Bolivia. As haven't taken a knock just yet, and I Am Bolivia, they try to leave their compound, but TTG was just full eyes on, and there was just no way for them to escape here as Athletes of Christ continue to try to fight their way in to this compound, get off of this ridge where they know that there's more teams off to the south. Train to Go will take a knock onto M8 from Viri, so they'll have to stop down here to get that res back.
NA have done exactly what I didn't expect them to do as well. They've gone south with their rotate as they're heading directly towards this one, moving. I think they just want to play this ridge line on the edge of the circle, but Mafu is going to start spraying off in the distance. He's looking to hold the line here for TTG, climbing that table now as they start to move. 9 points for them so far on the day as they look to add a few more. LFP, he'll find Heaton though, as it's just relentless here from the agents of, or the Athletes of Christ. They just don't seem to know when the game and when the fight is done here, Poro.
They sure don't. Train to Go, I felt like they had, I Am Bolivia, I felt like they had a pretty good control over this south side, but they're just taking knock after knock after knock, and Viri now the last player left alive. And fortunately for TTG, it looks like Athletes of Christ have made their way into the compound. Next gen, or New Gen All-Stars rather, they toyed with going south, but then they just went south of the compound that Chapinski is in. So they still have shots or angles onto that, but now you can see Balefrost getting knocks onto Heaton from Train to Go. They're getting angles on pretty much everything else. New Circle does pop, and it is going to favor the south side here.
Yeah, and the circle does shift. Chapinski's out of there as well, and NA actually have the leap onto them now as they can hold the fight the other way. Pest Control, they suddenly find themselves with a need to get Happy Feet as well, as they're on that northeastern side, the blue at their backs, and the high traffic side for them is the path that's closest to them, as I Am Bolivia will get wiped. But I think for Pest Control, Poro, this is there's 35 to 40 seconds here where they're going to hunt for a knock. And if they get a knock, you can bet your bottom dollar that the first thing they're going to do is get in a car and crash.
Yeah, this is I think this is Pest Control kind of keeping an eye on this eastern side to see if they can maybe catch somebody in rotation, because fighting on the eastern side of that road right now doesn't give you really anything, right? Like there's everything from the circle is on the west. So I think they were trying to see if they can maybe get something, and yeah, they're going to pull away, go back off towards the north. But this is what I'm concerned about here. New Gen All-Stars been playing around on this hillside. They managed to avoid Chapinski and break their line of sight. Now Chapinski has to find a way to push in. Gabuto will be the first one to go in, as Pest Control is going to arrive as well. So this might be bad news for Chapinski, as they're getting pinched from both sides.
Yeah, but just on time. Mafu from TTG will get a knock, which will slow down Finna's peak, and this will work a little bit of favors. That res is going to happen, but the blue zone here, Paro, it is phase 6. This is a very difficult blue zone to spend any time in whatsoever. TTG, they use that knock. They're going to step up a little bit closer to these poly tunnels here, as well as An open shot here. Shinboy, though, not going to hit them. He's going to focus on the other two players. So he got the call from Beal. He's like, yes, 2 players have crossed, but there's still 2 to go. And they're going to set up a firing squad, a firing line. This could be really bad for the last 2 members of TTG on this side of the road.
And this is also just smart play from NA, knowing that Chapinski is going to push into pest control, so they didn't have to try to overcommit to that fight on the team to their north. You can see Finna just looking around. Chapinski manages to get at least a shack, and yeah, Finna, I don't think you want to stick around there too long. Yeah, we'll retreat immediately into the smoke. The grenade will bounce, but it will just take out the car, and they'll go ahead and leave Chapinski to the pest control boys, as Fear is going to take out Tempest with a combination of Panzerfausts.
They're climbing. They're climbing that leaderboard this last couple of maps, and TTG as well doing the same. They're up to 10. 7 teams left alive. And anywhere else around the circle, the polytunnels are kind of the key point in the center of the circle now, and TTG closest to Paparo. I'm looking elsewhere, right? Finna getting the res off onto his teammate. NA with 2 players up, and now the polytunnels really are the center of the circle. And this is a nightmare. I have been in circles like this before, Paro. Polytunnel circles are just death and pain because you get players prone inside them, prone beside them. It is so hard to deal and clear them, especially whenever there's so many.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great, but I think the hope here is that if you're a team like New Gen All-Stars, you've got 4 up, you just try to death ball and just control your area as much as you can, or you just wrap around the south side and push right into Train to Go because you think you can kill them all. And right now, that is exactly what is happening. Train to Go is getting ripped apart here by the push.
Yeah, they waited, and TTG didn't move, so well, NA take advantage of it. Now, Shinboy did knock Finna. Finna will get rezzed, but that's what you want. Pest control making the move as well, though, with the driver gets shot out hot and spicy. He drops 18 health. He can't get behind the rock as Choppy will take him down. K-Mine, the last player from Pest Control standing. They're on 10 points here as well, but don't think Josh is going to get over there, and he doesn't. Louis Zera is able to find that kill, and Louise picks up another one for the team. 8 kills for NA here, Poro, but FE, the Agents of Christ, are still alive as well. And Tony is moving up close. He's peeking over, and he's going to call his team's push onto this one. So as soon as New Gen All-Stars win this fight, expect FE to peek over. But I don't know. There's not enough time. They cleaned it up so quickly that they couldn't go for it.
Yeah, they also took a knock, and if we know anything about Athletes of Christ, they've taken about 7 knocks per player at this point in the game, so they had to immediately retreat and get that man back on his feet here as Pest Control. K-Mine got hot and spicy back up, and that might be enough to get Chapinski. Yes, they will. Chapinski goes down in the end, and Pest Control now has control over the western side of the circle for what it's worth. Down to just 2, but that should be enough to get them into the top 3, you would think.
Yeah, look at it now. They've got 2 players up, as you said, 31 points on the board, but Bro, they're in a sandwich now. You've got the Agents, or the Athletes of Christ, and you've got the Injectors pushing your way. NA, they're going to essentially have...
Oh, what a grenade from Fear.
Oh my god, that's so good, Paro. And the follow-up is really good as well. And the Molly takes down Choppy. So Injectors, I said Injectors are going to be a problem. Not anymore, they're not.
I think Injectors maybe were just trying to play it cool and quiet. And Fearless, again, just pushing and trying to take them out before they can make any decisions. And now Injector's down to just Stokely, and yep, he's going to get taken out by Lucas. So great play again from Fearless. After getting that win, they're playing with a little bit more confidence now as they're up to 9 kills. They are just a duo. They know they've got Athletes of Christ down to the south, but they still have a compound, or still have a building that's inside this circle, so they can afford to stick around a little bit longer.
Yeah, and look, Shinboy and the rest of the New Gen All-Stars, they're moving up. They're getting close to the building because they're worried about what could happen, and that's why, look, Iga gets the knock onto Fana, but he's traded back instantly by LFP. They wanted to clear their borders before they focused on the center of the circle, but Hot and Spicy from the other side of the map from Pest Control cleans it up. And now for the New Gen All-Stars, fall back. Like, I saw the theory. I appreciate the aggression of trying to clear that section of the map, but I just think it was too early, Poro.
It's tough. Yeah, I mean, you could see he was sniffing around there for a while to see if he could find a way in, but after getting that first knock, just not able to see the second guy. And now you see NA looking over towards pest control, thinking that that might be a good spot to play, but K-Mind has that AWM in hand, and they've got the smallest bit of ridge line to play around, and that AWM will ring as Lucas will get taken down.
Yeah, K-Mind using that AWM perfectly. Fana, though, is going to go to work, as does LFP, and that is the signal. That should be the go button. Actually, no, the knock going on to LFP pauses it again. So every time, it's Athletes of Christ. What's that? Knock 355. Like, it's gone beyond a joke how many knocks they've taken, and they're still 3 up.
They're still in it. They're still in it. Finna will bleed out, as Balefrost would love to be able to go for this res, but unfortunately he gets there just a little bit too late. LFP, I mean, at this point, do you even heal up? Just just play forward with your little bit of HP that you got in hand. Tony will spot out Balefrost running away, as yeah, Athletes, this is the time to make that push, isn't it? Balefrost, K-Mind will spot out Leal, as AWM is just doing work. He's gonna get another one, as Fana will take down Shimboy. And now Athletes of Christ, against all odds, I don't know how they've managed to make it this far into this game with 3 guys up, and Tony will spot him out hiding in the wheat fields. But Pest Control, we said once they won that fight over there on the west for that rock, it was looking like a surefire top 3 finish. Well, they've made it to the top 2, and now they've got their eyes on first, as the AWM will sing out once again.
Yeah, 3v2 circle. The battle lines have been drawn, and you can see that Fana is creeping up the poly. Okay, yeah. Don't take on an AWM. Don't. Oh, there you go, K-Mind. K-Mind's got the opportunity. He peeks across. K-Mind hits it. 13 HP. 2 versus 2 now. He's going to dip back into cover and go for the res. And as Hot and Spicy has found some ad hoc cover. He's got himself a crate that he can prone behind, but that nade looks like it could be very, very good. It's not good enough, though, as K-Mind will close the gap. That second nade from Fana is bang on the money, as K-Mind will have to delve deep into the old bag of tricks that he has to find these final 2 kills. But Paro, look at it. Once the smoke dissipates, it is open ground. It is dangerous. It is deadly. And K-Mind's got 9 rounds. He could do with a reload here.
He sure could. He's gonna keep an eye on the smokes for spot 1, but no, the 9 rounds will be enough to take him down, as Athletes of Christ get a second win. And this one, their first win, was a tough battle. This one was arguably even tougher. What a performance from them.
I don't know if it was divine intervention, or I don't know whether it was just a case of Jesus taking the wheel for Fana for 5 minutes, but oh my, what a performance. Paro, they were down on their knees. They were eliminated, and then Fana pulled off the play of the night to keep his team in it. 10 placement points, 12 kills, another 22 points. This is why, and this is how they got over 200 points in 10 maps in the scrim that qualify them to be here.
It was crazy. I mean, they got 5 wins in 10 games, and so far we got 2 wins in 3. It's looking pretty good, as Athletes of Christ are really feeling themselves right now. I mean, there was like 3 or 4 times that match where they were down to just 1 player and were able to get the reset off by a combination of just phenomenal individual play from Fana in the one case, and then a little bit of inspiration and just another 3rd, 4th party team coming in and protecting them a little bit. So you know what, you got to make use of whatever good fortune you get, and that is exactly what Athletes of Christ did in that one.
But I'm used to it, right? I've casted Fana all year in the Cups in 2025, and he was doing that time and time and time again. Now, let's be real, found it a little bit tougher whenever the likes of Falcons and Al-Qudsi and, Liquid were in the lobbies.
As all teams do.
He's been so good in these groups, and now he's up to 52 points. Like Paro, New Gen All-Stars are running them close. Like they're still within touching distance with 2 maps left to go. But if you'd have offered Athletes of Christ this at the start of the day, they're taking it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, New Gen All-Stars, all credit to them. They were put in tough positions a couple of times in that match as well, and still managed to fight their way out of it as best they could. And in the end, it was the top team in the lobby that it took to take them out. So credit to them. Fearless, I gotta give a shout out to them as well after getting that win in match number 2. Once again, I think they ended up with something like 9 or 10 kills in this game, even down to 2 players. They were being aggressive and pushing into these fights. So you know, we're starting to see some of these teams get their footing underneath them and start to play with a little bit more confidence, more aggressively.
Yeah, but the problem is, Poro, these 5 map nights are so short that just as teams are starting to get their feet beneath them, there's just a home stretch left to go. We've got 2 maps. We've got Rondo and 1 more Erangel left to go. We're going to jump in a quick break. When we come back, it's the randomness of Rondo. We'll see you in a few.
Welcome back to PAS Cup week number 1, where athletes of Christ have the power of God and anime on their side, and they've got 2 victories to show for it in 3 matches, and they currently sit at the top of our leaderboard with 2 matches left to play. We are about to head over to Rondo Gibson, so nobody's able to get comfortable with their maps here. We're switching things up on them every single time.
Yeah, but again, I think that plays into the favor of the teams that played all the cups last year, because this is the format that they were good at. The second a team thinks they're comfortable, we change it up. And with 2 maps left to go, I think if you're on the wrong side of the leaderboard, now's when you need to get on the move. Now, what, we have 5 cups, if I'm not wrong, over the next 5 weeks, so it's it's not a case of one bad cup is going to cause you a lot of problems. But if you are the likes of the New Gen All-Stars, or you are up at the very top, like the Athletes of Christ, like, you're giving yourself one hell of a foundation for the next few weeks and qualification towards PAS.
No, absolutely. And the scary thing about it is this isn't one of those games where Athletes of Christ have just gotten like circle luck or just everything playing out in front of them. Like, they've had to fight tooth and nail for every single point that they've gotten so far here today. And they're finding themselves in just really tough, bad situations, and they're fighting their way out of it straight up. And that is a terrifying prospect for these teams that are chasing them. Because you could say the same for New Gen All-Stars. Like, they're doing really well for themselves as well. But Athletes of Christ just got that little extra edge here today so far.
But it's different, right? Because Athletes of Christ are doing it by just being this unstoppable force, whereas New Gen All-Stars, I feel, are playing like a really good macro game. Like, they're getting themselves in good positions. They're not taking on gunfights that, you know, don't work for them. Like, they're being very smart with how they're approaching it. Either way, both teams are picking up tons of points, and they're a really good spot. But we're in Rondo. It's a single flight path. Paro, this is a map that I still think that a lot of some of these teams, particularly the ones that are in the tier 2, tier 3 ecosystem, are still trying to work out, right? The top teams, they've played it enough now. They know how it feels. But I think for some of the other teams, particularly the new faces, Rondo is always going to be tough. But it's also an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anything, right? It's figuring out how to make the map work best for you. And, you know, not trying to force your game onto the map, but just figuring out how to play your game within what the map and these allows you to do. And okay, let's start off with a Far East Jadina City Circle. That is I've been dreaming of the day that we get a Jadina City endgame. I don't think it'll happen here. I don't have that much confidence. But maps over games that end over on this side with that big river that kind of splits everything always end up a little bit more interesting, don't they?
Yeah, I've had a couple of games that I've casted with a circle that's threatened to go to Jadina City, but every time it finishes where you see Fearless playing, you know, just that kind of northern part of the city.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I would love to see a city finish, but I think this is an early rotate. Like, this is a signal alarm for all those teams elsewhere, like Tempest. You know, if you haven't seen on the map, Tempest dropped over in Fongtun. I think that we saw Pistolero landing over there as well. If I'm those teams, I'm rotating super early, because you're essentially rolling a dice now, whether this goes the Jadina City side or the side that you see, you know, train to go on just a little bit further west. Either way, that's a big river, a wide river, and it splits the zone in half.
Yeah, I think if you're IGLing, right, you're putting all your chips on one side, and you know, the other half of this coin is the teams that are right in the middle here, like Fearless already getting in a scrap with Athletes of Christ. Haven will get taken down and flushed out. So all the glazing that we're doing for Athletes of Christ. Okay, Scar, now the best gun in the game. You saw it here first.
Lucas, that's just nasty on the Fana, and that's the raid boss gone. So you've dealt with Fana, and this is so good as well, because I'm looking at this section of the map, and you know that the teams here, like Athletes of Christ, knew they were getting into a gunfight early, but they know how powerful this position is in the circle, so they're trying to make it work. But all credit to Lucas, 200 damage, 2 knocks, but Fana's back on his feet, Paro, and as long as he has a pulse, they have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, if the last game taught us anything, it's getting rid of these guys from Athletes of Christ is way tougher than just getting that knock. As you can see, Fearless still split, still spread, and there's that one guy off in the distance with the high ground, and now you got Vapeskir also starting to creep over here. So I think Fearless getting a little bit more of a lay of the land as to how Athletes of Christ are currently positioned, and they're starting to figure out how they want to approach this. Now, the quicker they can get it done, the better, because as you know, there are going to be teams that are going to be starting to make their way in here very, very soon. And so if they can get this done and wrapped up quickly so they can prepare for that, that would be ideal.
You mean like Train to Go, who've literally just taken the spot south of them?
I mean like Train to Go, that have taken that spot, or Collector, who has also started to come in, or Injector is starting to come in as well. So let's see if Lucas has a little bit more magic in the tank.
Yeah, and again, think about that area north of Jadena City where you see Fearless and the fight with Athletes of Christ as being a powerful position, because yes, the river is there, but you can full send it across. You get enough pace going, you get enough speed going. There's a couple of places you can ramp, as well as having the bridge north. So you want to be close to the river for now, so you can be one of the first teams to exit if the circle shifts the other way. And vice versa, if the circle shifts your way, well, you're going to get fed a dinner plate of points. But you spoke about Collector. They've rotated past. Injectors, they're within the same postcode now as well. You'll see them on the mini-map a little bit sooner as they push just towards Yongu as well. But Athletes of Christ, Paro, I think they're doing the smart thing, right? They've lost the player. You've got everybody up. You've got a vehicle. Just move while it's still early.
Yeah, and I think they're also reading the tea leaves, right? They see all these different teams kind of making their rotations through, and they're realizing, okay, we're going to be stuck here for way too long, and just going to have to deal with all these third and fourth parties if we stick around. So let's go ahead and dip out while we still have the ability to. And man, they picked the perfect time to do it, didn't they? Because as you said, Injected were coming through, Collectors were coming through, and Train to Go on the south side, and instead they're just going to go ahead and dip off to the north and just play it with the circle.
Yeah, Pest Control are on their way in now as well, but you could nearly even argue that a 6.5 minute in e-pickup is even rather late. Like, you look...
It's very late, yeah.
Yeah, like, you look at Jadena City. You've got X10. You've got Caution. Train to Go are there. Fearless are not far away. Collector. Injectors. Like, all this area is really highly populated. Like, I'm looking a little further south, right? A couple of teams are going to gamble on this going towards the west, right? It's what you're going to do.
I mean, you say that, but look at them. Like, everybody's making their way over to the east.
But surely somebody's going to make that gamble. Like, I think maybe Tempest and Duel, kind of the last two teams moving in. And I think it's going to be not even by choice, Paul. I think it's going to be forced to take that side because they're going to realize we ain't getting in.
Yeah. I mean, just weren't fortunate enough to pick up an emergency pickup, so you just come in super late. But it is surprising to me that in a circle that's essentially 50-50. Okay, Conf. What are you even scouting from up here? I hope with a 4x. I mean, if you had an 8x, maybe. But no, I think it's in essentially what looks to be like a 50-50 circle. All these teams opting to make their way over to the eastern side of the river. We'll see where the circle decides to go. But right off the bat, I mean, even Jadena City now that Pest Control is arrived. Okay, I take it all back, Conf. Perfect decision. Go for that high ground.
Yeah, you don't see the vision. The problem was you didn't see the vision here, Paul, right?
I didn't. Like, I should never have doubted.
Like, he runs out of ammo. He's still here for 10, 15 minutes. And he's fine. He's picking up points. He's enjoying the view. Like, people pay for a view like that inside of Jadena City.
Yeah, I mean, look, those apartments up there are probably worth more than the house that I'm in right now is LFP and Athletes of Christ. I was going to say, I like this spot that they actually took. You can see he's just LFP holding this compound that's just on the north side of this little lake that's over here. And we've seen these circles end, or games on Rondo end over in this area many, many times before. So this might be a little bit of a veteranship coming in on the play of Athletes of Christ, saying, okay, well, we didn't get the compound that we initially wanted, but we've also seen historically that this area gets a lot of love come late game as well. So let's go ahead and move over to this spot, and we can protect this better as 3.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much for that spot. That's good to become great, depending on where we go in about...
And they get Haven back.
Yeah, 55 seconds. Did they? Yeah, Haven's coming back. Okay. That's good news. They're
Love
back
to
to 4. And even better than that, Poro, is because they've got Mayran, Haven is going to get fully kitted out as well.
couldn't ask for better if you're Athletes of Christ. So our trailing teams that were coming in, okay, you got Chapinski. They've settled up in the little city, or the little compound just to the south of Jadina City on the other side of the river. You got Tempest making their way in, Duel making their way in, and Tazon. Those are the only teams that are on the western side, with the exception of a 2-2 split from Pistolero. So if this thing does cut over to the east, you're going to see some bloodshed going on this western side.
Just wait. Oh my word! It's gone north. Okay. It has gone
north and west, or east rather. So that's it. Could be worse. Could be way worse.
It's really good for FE though, with the way that's gone, and I'd even argue that for I Am Bolivia, I think they're pretty good now too, because that's best case scenario for them. But poor Conf, like, he's just invested all of his wealth on that condo, and now he's going to have to leave.
Yeah, the market's going to be brutal as well, as it looks like OMG is actually pushing in here. Hot and Spicy will get a nice hot and spicy spray down, but not going to be enough to get a knock.
That was a cold and bland spray. That wasn't hot and spicy.
No, it was not at all, unfortunately. And yeah, I'm actually curious as to where they're going there. That's the southern part of a 2-2 split from OMG. The northern part have made their way in to a ridge line on the eastern side, just off to the north of Caution. So I'm not sure where OMG was going back to Jadina City for there, but regardless, they survive. Jadina City, the south side, is starting to get a little bit spicy though, as Tempest, Duel, and Chapinski will all be fighting over that bridge heading to the north as Pest Control repositions. Are they going to try to gatekeep, or do you try to go for a spot in the zone?
I think if I'm Pest Control, get in the zone. And
I think
you can do
so too.
both. You can do both. Like, you can push towards X10 and then catch anybody coming in, but I'm looking a little further north. Caution are about to drive directly into Fairhopper, and the rest of OMG who are holding that side. So that fight could be kicking off very, very soon. And yeah, just as I say it, we're having a look. So you can see that Alka is having that look over that ridge line. But they could be in trouble. If Fairhopper catches them by surprise, that's a knock and flush.
And it looks like Duel has managed to make their way past the Chapinski gatekeep, and Tempest, they pull away for now. We'll see if they try to reset and come back for it, but they do have an out. They could head back towards the west and just stay on that western side of the river and work their way north if they so choose, but we'll see what happens. Alka and Caution still nosing around here. I'm not sure if it looks like he may have spotted out Fellhopper. Yeah, he sees the car, so that's going to at least let him know that somebody's up there somewhere.
Yeah, and one thing to point out, Paro, and it's worth thinking about a little bit later on.
Oh, there's the southern duo.
Yeah, for Caution is when they go to leave, because of how steep that hill is and because of the parking of their vehicles, it's going to be a very slow push over that ridge line at the very start. So I think for Caution, keep moving north. Get further north, get yourself a bit more mobile. John Gordao, he's going to peek at the rest of OMG, but he takes a ton of damage. Alka, he's going to click on empty on the round. He takes a little bit of damage here as well. And OMG, get on around, get past. And the question is now, did they forget? Oh my, Alka, he blew up the vehicle, and that's a big knock. And now all of a sudden, if I'm Caution, I'm making a move.
Well, and you also have a third party now as well, as I Am Bolivia hear these shots. They sent a duo over to kind of look over in this direction to see if they can maybe sneak something away. Duel continued their rotation out of Jadina City up to the north. It doesn't look like they're going to head over in this direction, at least, though. So that's one thing that they don't have to worry about. New circle does pop, and it's going to center up on Train to Go in that compound that we saw them fight with Athletes of Christ over early on. So a number of teams already have to make another move back in.
Yeah, but Paro, that's the spot that we kind of said at the start of when we saw Phase 1, that this is where these tend to go. So that's why we saw TTG go here. It's why we saw that fight earlier on, because teams know how valuable this area is. Fairhopper, we spoke about him maybe catching someone by surprise. That's what he did. He found Falcon, and that's one member of Caution down. Shield is picked up by Alka. He's going to move that shield, potentially pick up something in the trunk or put it in there. But I think this is really bad for all these teams, because that's a bad shift. And as we said, Poro, moving from that hill that Caution are on is slow. Like, getting momentum is slow.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this fight is taking just way too long to kind of come to fruition. And you see I Am Bolivia still just kind of hanging out there, looking down. They have a way to make their way in. A free path to rotate. It looks like they're going to start doing that now. And it looks like Caution haven't gotten their res, but they might just be repositioning just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, both of these teams, the smokes are just slowing things down so much that, I mean, neither team is really coming out ahead here.
Yeah, and it's the longer it takes, the worse it's actually going to get in the long run as well. So you can see that OMG, they've got everybody back on their feet. The blue zone, though, is becoming a problem. You said it earlier. This here potential crash up towards I Am Bolivia could be a problem. Nazira, he's got the chance and he's going to hit the shots. That'll be Tutankhamun down. And, well, he is going to get buried. Collector as well, Paro. Big explosion from Dreams there. He gets 3 knocks on the bounce, and Collector on the verge of getting their first points of the night.
Oh, man, Injected, they try to go for the dip. Unfortunately, the dip was not free, and the grenade just absolutely perfectly placed. And now Stokely all by himself once again. We'll keep recycling those smokes to see if he can maybe hold off the push a little bit longer. As you hear mortar shells falling in the distance. Not on top of him just yet, though.
Yeah, but it's points. It's 3 on the board, and I've been waiting for that for a while. Like, I've casted these players for years. You've casted them in scrims too. Like, that's how long we've seen these players in lobbies. Like, Red Rider, I'm gonna say, see, back when I started streaming, his whole family would watch scrims to see how Red was doing. So it's, I want to see them doing well. That's what I love, though.
Yeah,
like when you watch these
forever.
But I love friends and family just getting involved. Jewel, though, this is a good spray from Cluzera from X10. He's going to be able to find one. And the nade Paro, he's lined it up, he's tossed it. Kalnix will get Kine as well. And this was a very big risk for Duel, and they're not really getting any rewards from it all.
Oh, man, yeah. And, I mean, there were definitely other options for Duel, as this compound, you can see, not even in the zone. And really, really well held there by X10. The only knock they take is on the Franks, and they'll get him back on his feet. But it looks like now Pest Control maybe making a push up into there to see if they can capitalize off of that. I Am Bolivia, meanwhile, still in the open field. This is not a great place to play from, but there's just not much else left for them, as you can hear them just getting peppered by Caution from off in the east.
Yeah, now LFP and the rest of the athletes of Christ, they're looking this way. San Hero will be able to peek over. He manages to get that knock on to K-Mind. 14 HP. And now he's going to rotate around. Wrap, reposition, reload, and get yourself another line of sight onto the fight as Pest Control look to work on X10. Remember, this is on the edge of the circle. That's a big attempted nade going in the distance as... Oh my... What has Haven and Tony just done on the other side? A holy hand grenade has been dropped on them.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, they... managed to catch him out when they're not expecting it. Pest Control, this is a fight that they wanted to take. They take 2 knocks and they will try to retreat and survive a little bit longer, as X10 doing the best to hold their compound there on the south side. But now they've got to move in, and this is going to be a little bit troublesome as Pest Control is there. Pistolero is down there looking in that direction, and now Chapinski also making their way over. As Payne, the last player left alive for OMG, will be spotted by who else but LFP.
Yeah, it's just what they do. Caution now, they've just about got a slither of the circle that they can play as Tempest are deleted. They're going to get removed, and I think that Pest have lost a couple as well, and yeah, they're gone now as well. They fall in 12th, and then there was 11. But Poro, this 11 is going to bleed so quick. The terrain is open. There's just really one compound that's worth playing, and that's where TTG is. And there's one shack that is completely vacant on the other side. Red Rider, though, MP5 at the ready. He'll wipe out Injected. He gets the kill onto Stokely. And Collector get 5. And maybe one more as he tosses that nade towards Azuki. Well, on the other side, actually, Azuki fighting against Tay.
Yeah, Tayson trying to make their way in here, and they're getting held out by a solo player right now, as they might have gotten some help from New Gen All-Stars, who I think had an angle off to the north. Nice spray from Zuki, he will win that 1v1, and Tayson will get taken out as the Pistolero will make their way in, keeping 4 alive for the time being. Athletes of Christ, meanwhile, continue their reign of terror on that northern side. They're up to 6 kills.
Yeah, and just staying hot on their heels at the same time is the new gens. They're not too far away either. A few more points on the board for them. We'll see them climb. But Fana moving closer. Red Rider going to get picked up. That's another point, another scalp for Fana and the side as Hazel looks to put some covering fire down with that Dragonov, which is, you know, it's inside its danger zone now. 23 damage found with that initial shot, but it's all getting rough. And Train to Go, you've got to give them credit. They've held this compound this whole time, and now they're getting crashed by caution. But I'm going to say, no kills, but they've been really patient. They've kind of played this the way the old Luminosity roster would. Let's get center circle, and the kills will eventually come to us.
Yeah, I mean, if you take this spot, you just kind of take it with the assumption of, okay, we're going to try to get to late game with this. We know we're not going to get a lot of kills because, I mean, everybody is just going to avoid a line of sight of this compound because they know it's taken, right? So they're playing for late game here. Meanwhile, Chapinski, Piero will try to crash in. He's the last player left alive. He's going to find himself in the midst of caution on the north side of that compound. It does have a lot of walls to work around here, and he is just kind of blindly sending grenades and has no idea where these guys are. Might have an idea that Jean is there, though. We'll see what happens. As Collector, they had a very slow start here today, but they have managed to get 6 points so far in this one, as LFP will take down Hazel, and it's down to just 4 Earth.
Yeah, and NA picking up those kills. LFP drops as well, so I think Fana is the last player standing now. I think there's actually 2 still up for the Athletes of Christ, but NA know if they want to retake top spot or take it, they've got to get active now. 7 teams left alive. The placement point window is open. Balefrost throwing those nades, hurling them in, but taking a lot of damage from Fana, but confirming another kill, Paro. It's another point on the board, and this is a clean fight. Nobody else is going to get involved in this, right? You look elsewhere, Pistoleros are to the south, everyone else is in the compound. These 2 teams are being let fight. Well, the 3 teams, I suppose I should say, as Collector are still involved as well.
Yeah, 4th, kind of the problem here for Athletes of Christ is they continue to try to spot, see if somebody's jump peeking. They're just making sure that they don't get pushed on, and now they can kind of devote their attention back over towards 4 Earth. You can see Balefrost is still the last one kind of looking over in that direction. Finna and Iga, meanwhile, make their way off to the south, trying to get a better spot towards the center of the zone.
That's good for these 2 teams in the north, Paro. That's really good for the 2 teams. It allows the fight to go on that little bit longer. TTG can still stay in position, but you got TTG, X10, and Caution all inside this compound. TTG, I think if I'm them, keep Mafu keeping an eye on Caution, right? Don't necessarily engage with him, but keep an eye to the south, right? Mafu's job is to make sure that nobody creeps up in their spot, while the rest of the team focuses on where X10 are going to push from.
Yeah, and I gotta give credit to X10, man. They have had a banger of a game here so far. 7 kills to their names as Mafu just spraying down onto Caution, keeping them honest, using that hard cover. And now, Viejo Pistolero had to make a move, but New Gen All-Stars in position and ready. Finna just going to send a Molotov over for the time being while he waits for the rest of his team to come and provide him some support.
This is good for the Athletes of Christ as well, because NA were their biggest problem, and now NA are focusing a little further south. So NA, if they clean this up, are doing themselves a huge favor for that fight with FE a little while's time. But you got to be careful, Balefrost. It's a 2-2 split, but that nade is really good. That'll be the first knock on to Zuki. Instant molly thrown as well. Is that a gas canister that I saw being tossed just in front as well? As Finna will get Danny as well. And well, the 2-2 split, Paro, has just become essentially a 1-1. You don't run at a tree. Never run it. Oh my God, no. Never mind. It's Bale. Bale's been that guy for so long.
Chappa just got roasted. And yeah, now all of a sudden it's down to Fake. And Fake can maybe stay alive a little bit longer. But yeah, you said New Gen All-Star, they needed to get this win here, and they needed to get it pretty quickly and cleanly, and that is exactly what they did. So while all that's going on, Athletes of Christ, they see NA in the kill feed, and they know that they're a little bit farther away, so they're starting to kind of get themselves together and see if they can take down 4 Earth and clean themselves a little bit more room on this northern side.
It's been 7 teams for what feels like 10 minutes as well.
Oof.
Finally, we dropped down to 6 as Calnex from X10 is able to pick that one up, Paro. But all that was going on now. We're down to 6. Caution, they're still a little further north. We've got the map feed chat, so we can kind of we can paint a picture as we jump over to Fana. And Fana's now moving towards 4 Earth. And for Earth, if I'm NA, if I see for Earth get a single knock, I am going full steam ahead, but with the way that Athletes of Christ are playing, it's not even going to happen. It's Fana. It's done. The Collector eliminated. Then there were 5.
Really nicely done there, and you expect nothing less. 9 kills now for him, and they try to get over. And unfortunately for them, Ega already in a position to a few shots over there. Fana, big spray, gets him down to half HP, and he also knows exactly where Balefrost is, though. So the info that Fana has on New Gen All-Stars right now, kind of keeping him in this game.
I just never understood how these players are able to be so accurate with a red dot from so far away.
You know, still different, man.
Yeah, and you know, Ega's going to go down to what's 80 HP. He's going to wait for the ticks to come up from the boosters. I think he's got none left, actually. Paro, looking at this, maybe he's got none left, so that's kind of where he's going to go. But at some point, Mafu's going to start pushing the other side. I still think his job is to feed information. Like, you're here to be a conduit of information for the rest of the team, because X10 are making their push further south, Paro. I don't see if you've seen it, but they're full sending it now inside this building.
Yeah, they had to make a push, didn't they? Cater, he's going to hear it coming. That Molotov will drop down, slow things down a little bit. And what is X10 doing? Are they going to go down to this molly? They are! X10! Did they get caught looking at the map? I don't know. But M8 will get taken down. That's an instant res, and X10 is down just like that. What happened? Oh, no, X10.
Yeah, they're not going to want to watch that one back in the VOD review later on tonight or tomorrow. But
I was like, I saw the Molotov come out. I'm like, are they just standing in it, or did it not hit them? I don't know what happened.
Oh, I don't know, but Mafu, he's got his eyes onto the 2 members of the New Gen All-Stars as they begin moving in towards the circle now as well. You've still got the Athletes of Christ up, and Mafu takes a heavy headshot from Finna. This is where Mafu, if I were you, stay prone. Right? Stay prone. Don't peek. Feed information, because you're under pressure from NA while the rest of your teammates have still got to push towards caution. Like, that's the bigger problem for Mafu. How does he get down from here, Paro?
I mean, he's just going to have his teammates smoke him off and hope that he can get down. We'll see what happens. John Gordau, though, well, unfortunately, that shield not going to protect you from the side, as Athletes of Christ get their 10th kill of the round. And Tony keeping everything in front of him. He's going to spot out Mafu now. And yeah, Mafu just trying to play behind that shield as best he can. And Caution, they're just going to continue sending shots over here into Tony, take that shield down and force him to move.
Yeah, if you're Tony or anything, and pick that shield up, and that's exactly what he's done. Picks it up, gets it away, goes prone, live to fight another day. Remember, the Athletes of Christ are here because they play aggressive. Like, they have not gotten fed. They are bringing the fight over and over and over again. Another headshot. I think Mafu just lost his helmet. So he's in what you'd call the danger zone from this point on. Any real headshot's going to be a world of pain, Paro. But this is hard to call. This is really hard to call, because the circle has just basically said to every single team, I'm going to give you a sliver.
Yeah, I feel like New Gen All-Star is probably in the best position right now. They have a lot of room to play on that hill. Train to go, they're completely focused on Caution. There's not really much they can do. Mafu will get taken down by Balefrost as he tries to escape that high ground. And yeah, you can see NA they can shoot down onto Train to Go anytime they want. Fana gonna find the knock onto Alka as Caution is just getting dismantled here. And Athletes of Christ actually get eliminated. So that is good awareness on the part of Iga from New Gen All-Stars to catch them while they were looking at something else. And now it is just academic here for NA, it feels like.
Yeah, but if you're a fan of NA, it's even better because those knocks from Fana were stolen by other teams. So Fana didn't even get a single kill off the back. Like, come on, Iga, you got to hit those. And he does. New Gen All-Stars. That is the win that they were looking for. That's 22 points. And that is really going to tighten things up here, Paro, as we get ready for the last map of the day.
That was really nicely played there at the end, but I mean, it was kind of easy once it got to that point. The game up until that point was a little bit more difficult, but once they had that high ground, they had nobody pushing them from the west. They had nobody coming from the south. They had view over everything in front of them, and that was just a pretty nice pickup for New Gen All-Stars. But once again, Athletes of Christ, man, they are just unstoppable. 10 kills and 14 points. But looking down that leaderboard, Gibson, a couple of teams that needed to have things start going their way, starting to find their footing.
Yeah, look, Collector, 7 points on the board. They're going to climb the leaderboard. But I'm looking at like Caution and TTG. Big winners going into the final map, right? Double-digit points. Get yourself some momentum. Climb that leaderboard. Because remember, not only are you trying to qualify for PAS, there's $15,000 on the line for these 5 cups. So yeah, you've got to get as many points as you can, because one bad tournament, if you can, like, I suppose, minimize your losses and have a decent point tally, even on a bad weekend, you can give yourself a chance of getting it. But look at that, 5 points in a Paro going into our final map of the day.
Yeah, 5 points between 1 and 2, and look at the drop off from 2 to 3. It has just been Athletes of Christ and New Gen All-Stars world so far here. Everybody else just kind of living in it. Fearless and Chapinski do manage to take 3rd and 4th. Caution now up in 5th place as well. Train to Go find themselves climbing as the Pest Control and Tempest round out that top 8. A lot of teams on that right side of the leaderboard with 1 game left to play. It is just kind of sellout time. Go out there and try to put yourself in a position where you can get as many points as possible. And just, what do you say? Avoid Athletes of Christ and New Gen All-Stars at this point.
Yeah, do your best. And here's the thing. If you are like on the right-hand side, a 10 kill win rockets you up the lead. Because of how good New Gen and Athletes have been, 20 points makes a huge difference for the teams trying to climb. But Paro, this thing, I want to just say it before we go to a break. 23 and 24 placement points for New Gen and for Athletes of Christ. Athletes of Christ have won 2 maps, but New Gen have only won 1, but they're only 1 placement point behind. They have been so consistent when it comes to getting into those final 4s.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say Athletes of Christ, I think, had 1 bad game. I think it was their Miramar that they went out a little bit early with 4 kills. But other than that, consistency all the way through, and New Gen All-Stars the same. And that's what's separated them from the rest of the pack. So everybody's just kind of playing catch up at this point to those 2 teams. But it will be a battle for first place at the end of this one with 1 game left to play. Who do you think is going to take it, chat? And we'll discuss. We'll give you our opinions when we get back from break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Well, it feels like the night has just begun, Paro, but we're entering the final map. We've got Erangel to go, where we separate our top two. It's tight between them, but not only that, it is about the weekly cup overall leaderboard. Which teams are going to give themselves a really good chance going into the next few weeks as well, depending on how this map goes.
Yeah, obviously you want to look at the overall picture and everything, but right here, right now, with one game remaining, it is a battle between our what are their names? Athletes of Christ and New Era or New Gen All-Stars. Good God. I'm losing my mind here, chat. I'm losing my mind. It's Athletes of Christ versus New Gen All-Stars. It's North America versus South America. It's 5 points separating the two of them. Who will come home in first place after this first week? Who do you think it's going to be?
I just think I want to see New Gen All-Stars do it because, like, it's the veterans. It's the, the OGs kind of the Americas. But I just feel like the way that the Athletes of Christ have worked their way around the games, like, even in their bad games, they're picking up kills. Whereas on the other side of things, like New Gen,
it's not like New Gen All-Stars hasn't been getting points in their bad games too.
Yeah, but they haven't had a bad game. Like, their macro, I think they've been in the top 4 every single map.
Yeah, I like that. I actually like that a little bit better than maybe. And look, like we said, Athletes of Christ had one bad game. It was the Miramar game, and they got four kills. But New Gen All-Stars, they've been consistent all the way through. But can they be just that? Can they be 5 points more consistent than Athletes of Christ in one game? That's the question, right? So there we go. We see New Gen All-Stars doing their drop. Where are Athletes of Christ? They are. Where are they? I lost them.
They're in there, old man. They're in there, old man. You can find them.
I can't see them. Right. They're sneaky.
Oh,
there they are. Okay, yeah, there's light purple. They were surrounded by blue. What do you want from me? Yeah. Okay, so there, they're just off to the east, and there you go. The hard southwest circle, centering up on Quarry. I don't know if that favors either team as we go through. Yeah, maybe NA, but you know what? A lot of the time.
Oh, fella.
That doesn't favor NA. What a spray from Vapeskar with the AK too. Goodness. Go ahead, sir.
He's going to run him over as well.
Absolutely going to run him over.
So, I think
hopefully you got your bets in early because the odds changed just a little bit there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with my prediction of this win going in favor of Athletes. I'm going to hope that wasn't a spoiler that we got on the left-hand side of the leader. I really hope that wasn't a spoiler for
the script is in. It's already been written.
Yeah, you saw the point tally, didn't you?
I didn't actually. I was looking at. I'll tell you what I was looking at. I was actually looking at the map to see if they were going to be able to. If NA was going to be able to pick up Finna's chip, and it looks like they might actually be able to.
Do you get national pride when you say NA? Like the teams from North America.
Look,
the teams initials are NA.
I'm just a simple, basic individual, and I see the letters. I see the letters on the screen, and that's what I go with.
I'm just waiting for somebody to go America. America.
I'm here for freedom, burgers, pretzel
corn
buns,
dogs.
corn dogs. Don't even get me started on corn dogs.
I've had one in my life, and it was great.
And it was the greatest experience you've ever had. I know. Texas Twinkies.
I think the best American experience I had was in this little diner where the waitress literally said, "What can I get you, sugar?" She was like, "You got to try the chicken pot pie," and I was like, "Right."
Look, it's a savory pie. That's what you guys say. You should feel right at home.
Yeah, not in Ireland. We're bland.
Yeah, beans on toast. Big player over there. Or...
Right now, I know you've had this argument with James and them. Beans and toast is good. Beans and toast is good.
I'm telling you, look, you're Irish, so I can't rip on you the same way I do on the British people.
We could both rip on the British people. It's fine.
That's fair. Look, they conquered half the world for spices, only to never use them in their cooking.
Bring me to an event, and we will just abuse James. I guess he'll be there like, you're an imposter. Why is the Irish person ganging up with the Americans against the Brit? I'll tell you why, but we don't have enough time on this broadcast. Poro!
So there's about 17 chapters of history that goes behind why that would be the case. But okay, so New Gen All-Star, they do get Finna's chip, but now they've got to figure out where to go to get him back on his feet. So they're having to stop down and do a little bit of casual looting. I mean, obviously this is not an ideal start for Shinboy with no helmet, a level 1 vest, and a Tommy gun. But you work with what you've got, as Athletes of Christ are finding out as they are having to hoof it across the open field into the south side of Pachinki.
Yeah, and we're going to see that.
OMG. Oh no.
Oh, yeah, we got one.
They got
two, actually.
Yeah. Just the timing is going in their favor. Oh, actually, Payne stuck behind, and he's going to get 2 times. Oh man.
Oh, so instead of giving 1 point to them, you're going to give 2 points to them, right? Is that what's going to happen? Oh, they're too slow. They were too slow, so OMG get up, and this is going to become a chase, right?
I don't think OMG wants this, man.
Do you run, Paro, if you're OMG, or do you rat? Do you run or you rat?
Rat. I mean, look, you know who it is that's pushing you. You should probably rat this. Tony pushing through. He's going to hear those feetsies. Oh, Tut got 2 of them. Immediate spray. And now all of a sudden it's down to Fana. Oh, Hopper, they get him. Athletes of Christ is down. They're down off of 1 kill.
This is so good. This is so good. If you're NA, all you need to do now is pick up a couple of points. I think 6 points will tie you level. If you get in the placements 1 point or more, will actually get you above them when it comes to the tie break. OMG though, 4 points on the board. Payne staying behind Poro, getting that res was the difference maker. And King Tut got 2 kills on the board. 2 big ones with that spray. And what can you say other than game on?
I mean, by the way, Finna, they did get his blue chip, so he is back. They went all the way down to Primorsk to do it, but NA will be back up to full strength. But yeah, I take it back, OMG. Don't rat. You take that fight all day long. You had it the whole time. As Luzera, oh, he had it cooked nicely. He gets a lot of damage in, and he will find the spray onto 1. Can he get the second one as well? As the beach rotation from X10 is proving to be a little bit too difficult. Kalnick's going to go down as well. Nice shots from Luzera.
Yeah, Luzera picks up those kills, and well, for X10, it's just down to Fran and San Hero. They move down towards that Pride Rock on the coast, but Poro, we've already lost the team. 7, it feels like the earliest we've lost the team so far in tonight's action. Like, as I said, in the cups, what the trend we've seen is you don't really lose teams early, you lose players. But we've seen the first team fall. Finn is going to land inside of Primorsk with the rest of his team. He'll get fully kitted up, looted, booted, suited, and like, if they just do what they've done all night long, get themselves deep into the placement points, that will be enough on its own.
No, absolutely. Playing from that south side, they are in the perfect position. This is exactly what they want. They have the entire game is going to be playing out in front of them. Nobody's going to be backfilling them that we know of, unless something kooky happens here. But, you know, at the end of the day, Athletes of Christ, if there was one team in this lobby that that could ego push somebody and feel confident about it, I think they were well within their rights to make that push. And in the end, OMG just, I mean, it was Tut, man. He had the bathroom spot and nobody checked it, and he gets the double knock and just put them on the back foot. So great work by them, as OMG will try to see if they can maybe collect something else here off of Taze as they try to make their way through.
Bit of irony too is that the team that's called Oh My God wipe out the team that is called the Athletes of Christ.
A little bit of irony there. Yeah, just a
and
dash.
Now the question is, how far can they climb, Paro? Because they're at 11 points, but, 11 points. They're only 8 points off ninth. 9 points off being inside the top 8. Like, they're not a million miles away. A few more kills for them, and they're in the top 8, and they've given themselves a boost. Because of how good the top 2 have been, it means that any team can really put itself into a position ahead of next week's cup.
Absolutely. And now they've got Alvaro back, so they are back up to full strength. And as you mentioned, though, that's been the biggest thing. Having point sponges at the top of the leaderboard makes making a one-game climb all that much easier. So OMG starting things off right. We'll keep an eye on them as they continue down in 13th place right now, but they have an entire eastern side of that zone that's free to push in as they take a few shots into the tail members of Tempest.
Yeah, no damage really being dealt there, but again, it's phase 1. You're in the blue.
Shift.
Take these shots. Oh, yeah, that's a big shift. And Collector, another team, 7 points. They find themselves center of the circle. I don't think that they should hold the 2-2 split that long. I think that maybe you should consolidate your position because of how many teams are going to come your way. And I think that's what's going to happen, yeah. They move. Collector doing the right thing.
Well, I am Bolivia trying to make the emergency pickup drop, but they're dropping right on top of Train to Go. And unfortunately for Train to Go, they were very split, just kind of obviously taking up as much of that western coast as they could. And in the old days, that was an easy split, right? You take all that position so if you're getting wrapped on from north or south. But now that we have the E pickup in, we see it happen so time and time again where a full 4-man squad will just drop right in the middle and cause havoc. So Collector now, as he said, putting everybody back into that same compound, and good thing too, because they are able to hold off that push from pest control.
Yeah, Collector still Hazel, 24 HP as well, as you said, as he didn't fall at the first push from Pest Control. Pest Control, of course, they're not all that far away as well. 7th place, again, 14 points away from the top 4. They've been pretty good. They've got themselves in the center of the circle, but Joshy's going back for another peek, right? He knows this ridgeline gives him good angles. He can have a look at what Collector are going to do and just be a constant nuisance and constant pressure. A little further south, though, the team that are hunting the overall victory, they're moving to the coastline, Paro. You can see NA playing on the edge, playing it safe. They're just making smart, long game or late game decisions. Again, they're playing for the end game, not for the mid game.
Yeah, and they leave Ego behind on those Primor's kills, so he's going to let them know that there's a rotation happening right on top of them here, as Chapinski will try to hold off what's left of X10 after X10 caused them some problems a little bit early on. Luzera, let's see if he can get some more off of them, but X10 will manage to escape for the time being. But yeah, Injected and Pistoleros are also making their way up from the south side, and they're going to be running right into New Gen All-Stars here as Bolivia continues to hold on to their northern part of this compound position.
Oh, look at the kills as well. NA lighting it up as Finna is going to find a kill onto Plushy, as well as things not looking very good for the Injectors at all as they rotate and they're heading directly towards this peninsula. You can see that silhouette. Oh my God, Kamba. That's the headshot on the mate that you want to see. And I am Bolivia really taking the fight to TTG. And this, we just spoke about TTG and how they had a huge chance to be off the leaderboard, but I am Bolivia. They're not overly pushed on making the push, Paro, because they're focused on the fact that you've got another team further to the north as well. And that's another big bolty. Yeah, okay.
Oh, Kamba. Yeah, no, I mean, I am Bolivia. They just had to hold off the push from the north side, and now they actually have Viejo Pistolero that are coming in from the coastline as well. So Train to Go kind of doing the job for them here, but we see... who's that? That is Tayson. Still, after getting rebuked originally, now I am Bolivia, they've got Injected making a push onto them as well. So doing a good job of holding down their compound here, as Collector having to hold off Pest Control once again.
I need to find out if that's Camberghini, because those bolty shots were something Camberghini was so good at as well. So I think it might actually be him under a new name. But don't take my word from it. I'll do my research and find it out. But I think it might just be Camberghini. Collector. No kills this map just yet. And that's true to form for both times they've played it, because they had 0 points going into game number 3. But now they're on 7. Pest control still looking this way. I'm looking elsewhere, Paro. Almost every team is inside the circle now, but look at NA getting so close to the rotate of Fearless a little further south than this.
Yeah, being really proactive coming in from this south side, and also being really patient. They haven't taken shots just yet. They're just putting themselves on that ridge line, and now Fear's going to know that they're there as Vapeskir try to make the wrap around to the south, and yeah, Fear going to immediately turn all their attention towards the south, push away from pest control, and now they're just going to try to hold out. New Gen All-Stars, the first knock on to Balefrost to start things off. Iga gonna push on Vapeskir, but Vapeskir's got the rock, and that is just too much for Iga to overcome.
Yeah, and now Vapeskir's going to push on up, confirm that kill, get the points on the board. Little bit of damage being dealt here as well as he tries to pop the tires of Shin, but Shin is going to go full retreat into the compound and wait a little bit longer. But Frost, does he know there's somebody right beside him? No, he doesn't. He's going to keep on going by, but Paro, the res has occurred inside the smoke, and that could be really bad news for Fearless now, but Leia will quickly get that knock on to Finna. Beal's out in the open, he's dealt with as well. There is 4 points, Paro, and there's 1 player to get them.
Oh boy, just dismantled there. Really, really well played by Fearless. We've seen them be extremely aggressive after they got that game 2 win. It just seemed like the confidence was there, especially from a player like Frost. And they have since now picked out Shinboy. They have got him completely surrounded. We'll see if Shinboy can pull off some magic here as he plays around the corners of the compound. Vapeskir going to go for the push on the side, but Shinboy will retreat back inside the hard cover.
Just moving around, trying to get the off angle. Shinboy's being haunted. He's on the open. Shinboy gets himself 1. Does a little bit of damage on the Vapeskir as well, but he gets that kill confirmed. Vape will step into the blue. Oh! It's another kill for Shinboy. He falls, but he falls just a little bit too short. Paro, Fearless wiped them out. And it looks like, in theory, that the athletes of Christ are going to win unless Fearless really activate over the course of the next 15 minutes.
Vapeskir, did he stick the res and immediately go back down? He did, so he denied the point essentially there. As Fearless, man, that was an aggressive push. I mean, they had him, and Shinboy, boy, he did the most there. It was almost a little bit too aggressive on the part of Fearless, just pushing in against that solo player. But we'll see what they can do here with a duo, as it looks like Frost has been spotted by Jappa. Yeah, so now it's just down to Liel, the last solo player for Fearless. Going to push right into Zuki as Viejo Pistolero just holding out whatever's left on that south side.
Yeah, and Jappa will get a kill for Pistoleros as Fearless. I said they needed to do something big to get top spot, but it ain't going to happen. But I'm looking at it now, Paro, right? You know all these teams we spoke about?
Such a jumble.
Good game could climb them the leaderboard. The 2 sponges are gone. So there's points available now that just haven't been available the rest of the night.
There's going to be a lot of movement here in this final game as Taezon just using every bit of offensive utility they have, and it didn't matter. Kalawi was ready for it. Gets the first knock on a rise, doesn't re-peek immediately, but drops the flashbang instead. And tries to go for another one, but Hidden heard it and made that push. Good work by him. But now Chapinski, they've been playing around on this northern edge as well, and they see that Taezon is hurt, and they will put themselves in a position to try to take advantage.
Shout out the observers, by the way. I love that POV of that fight. You know, let's give some love to the observers. Don't talk about them that often, but that was nice. I really like that. As you said, though, you've got Chapinski's living very close now to Taze, and I think that with this being, you know, a position that both these teams want, I think we're going to have an unfriendly alliance, Paro. Neither team will push each other, but they're going to kind of hope that each other will watch each other's backs as well.
Yeah, at least for right now. I mean, they're inside the circle. They have a compound on the north. You assume the circle eventually will shift away, and that's when that fight will probably come to a head. Meanwhile, Caution, they are just getting pressured by OMG from range, but nice spray from Lil Suey will get down Alvaro. Little Suey will continue to work around that ridgeline as, he's going to lose another teammate.
Yeah, it's not looking good, but still, Luis gets some kills on the board. You see another one on the board. He takes down Jean Gardau. And now Alka, down and out, Fairhopper takes a big headshot from Falcon, forcing him back into cover as Iro will get a little knock for Jewel. That happened on the other side of the circle. But Poro Fairhopper, I just think this is too hard to push. Like, you can't really get your head over that ridgeline without the cover from the rest of Caution being a bit of a problem. And what about that for a shift? That works really nicely for Collector, still looking to climb the table, but I'm worried now for these two teams on the further north side.
Yeah, it looks like OMG slowing things down to try to go for the full reset. They do get Alvaro back on his feet. Payne now is next on the menu, and it looks like he should be up as well. So OMG going to go ahead and just go for the full reset, while Caution can't really move because they're getting shot at from behind. Chapinski, we knew this fight was going to have to come to a head. They try to make the push in, and they do. Luzera now with 5 kills. Tazon is getting pulled apart here. I'm not sure how many players they have left, but Luzera going to work around the outside, just continuing the flashbangs in before going for the peak.
Does he go for the res? Does he have the chance now? If he wants to make that decision, he's got to do it fast, but it seems like he's stalling, waiting for the player to come down the stairs, and that's why he gets the kill. He gets the res. Taysan are wiped, and that's another bit of climbing up the leaderboard. 40 points now, Poro, as they're really increasing the gap to 5th.
Ooh, Fairhopper trying to make the aggressive push past Caution. Did not realize that Alco's still holding this same position. And he'll get that one for free, but will get traded down in the end as Payne will take him out. Meanwhile, we were talking about Duel. They were looking good, 4 strong on that southeastern side, but they lose 2 as they push into pest control. And now it's down to just Wooly and Iro.
Yeah, and Wooly and Iro, they've got to put in some work because they're in 10th place, right? They're not too far away from the top 8, but 17 points is looking quite a ways drift. Like, you look at the amount of positions left and teams left, maybe they can get themselves into the top 5 and usurp Caution, but Caution are finding points of their own. They're putting some work in. But here is Josh, pest control on that southern side, but gotta be careful because Kine is right behind them, and if Kine picks over that ridgeline, it is just shooting fish in a barrel.
I think he's knocked.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so he is. My old eyes. My old eyes.
You're good. You're good. It is old eyes. Oh, nice grenade from Zuki, though. Will take down 2 from I Am Bolivia, who were finally looking to be in a good position. They had 4 alive. They were playing from the west, and then just like that, a 1 grenade from Viejo Pistolero will take down 2, and now Fake going to try to make a push in. He's only got 15 HP left. Tries to go for the flush, or at least flashbang off. Spots out 1, takes a spray. Camba's going to go down, but the trade will come through from I'm So Good. I don't care what your name is. Get your revives up. Nobody's going to push this either. He should have got everybody back on their feet.
Yeah, the blue zone as well is not going to be any problem. So for I Am Bolivia, 5 kills on the board into the placement points now as well. So that's 6 points. And as we said, because of how good the top 2 have been, every point has a huge difference on the table. Caution, they're going to lose 1. Remember, they are currently the team sitting in 5th place. That's not looking good. It's just down to Little Suey, but Payne is trying to hold it back. That is the end of Caution now, as we see Payne look to hold out the team in 4th place. Kabuto and Louise on the edge, on the blue, and they're really out of options. It's really hard rotate for them as they get inside the US.
Oh, this could be great for OMG. I mean, this, again, was a game that started with them getting caught off guard by Athletes of Christ and turning the tables on them, winning that fight, taking 4 kills. Now they're fighting their way in from that northern side. Kabuto going to try to push in, but it's not going to happen. Choppy has been sitting in this shack for forever, and he ends up getting a free one for it.
Yeah, and that's points on the board for Injectors as well. That's their 8. They're up to 18 now. So we watch. They're not going to do it the same way we saw before. Toss the mollies in, but you got out too soon. Tutankhamun makes a mummy out of Nazira as he knocks him on the side. And now you're going to see Good falling as well, as I'm So Good. He falls, and I Am Bolivia. They ain't looking really good for them now. Con from Pest Control. They're up to 4 kills. They're on 26 points. 1 more point will see them move to 5th spot. but I don't really think that 4th is within grasp. But as we said, this is a 5-week leaderboard. You got to qualify to take part every week. So you got to get working every single chance you can. Iro falls from Duel, and it's just left to Wooly for them as well. And Paro, they're on 19. Like, it's been really tough sledding for them as well.
Yeah, I mean, game 1 they looked pretty decent, and then it's just haven't really gone their way since then. As Pest Control, I was about to credit them on just great zone control, area control on the south side here. The Conf does get spotted out. Hasn't been flushed out just yet, though. Joshy may be able to go for the res, but I think Viri was waiting for it. See him just sending grenades over in that direction. He's got 1 left, but he's also got to worry about his backside as Tut and OMG gonna go for the res. Wooly, the last player left alive for Duel, trying to make his way in, but everybody's looking. And now Hot and Spice gonna make that push with that MP. And yep, GG. Duel is out.
Yeah, Wooly is done, and that means that they'll not be climbing no more. The question is, how many points can these teams get on their tally ahead of the next 5 weeks? Pest Control, Viri is going to fall. So then there were 4. It is a 4v4, v2, v3 is Nazira just about gets inside the shack. Kamba keeping the fire down, but I Am Bolivia showing up strong on the final map of the night. 7 points on the board for them, and Kamba's having himself a highlight reel map. Yes, it's only 4 kills, but Poro, some of those snipes with a bolty earlier, work of art.
Absolutely, almost 800 damage for him as well. As we see, this is just a peak battle here between the two. Should be to a head here shortly as Pest Control. Now that they know the Duel is taken care of, they know the Collector was in the compound, they'll just go ahead and push it. Yep, that's going to be it for I Am Bolivia. And they will be down in 14th place. So Collector, they've got 4 alive. They got an opportunity here to make some serious movement on this leaderboard, much like OMG has already done.
Well, win here will probably get them into the top 8. Like, that is how tight this leaderboard is at the bottom. Hazel moving around for Collector. They're playing the edge of the circle. You got to be careful, though, of OMG. But OMG, this is really bad. This could get really, really bad. Alvaro steps up, but Dreams is there. He catches him out. And that's another kill for Collector. Another point on the board. OMG down to 1, and it's Pain on the other side of the circle, and he is getting hounded by Pest Control.
That's a great eye there from Dreams. He might have saved his team a lot of trouble there as Pain. Yeah, I think he realizes they're just going to try to take out this shelter, this little bit of cover that I do have. K-Mind, the shots being sent over there, down to 11 HP. Pest Control just being very methodical with how they finish this one off. Conf will be the one that gets them, and now it's a full 4v4 straight up between Pest Control and Collector.
Yeah, and as you said, 4v4, so there is in essence 10 more points to play for the team that wins this one. My math, 8 more points, Poro. 4 for the kills and 4 for the placement if you're able to make this one work, and those 8 points would be enough to move Collector into the top 8. For Pest Control, it would move them all the way up to the dizzying heights of potentially 3rd. Hazel, though, he's going to hold. He's got the MP5. We know at this range how dangerous those SMGs can be. Hot and Spicy with the same thing in mind, but Red Rider gets the off angle, but K-Mine shuts him down.
Oh, I was so looking for Red Rider to make a move there. He had that flanking position. He was coming in from the south side, but K-Mine quick with a good trade, though, to take down Hot and Spicy, so that'll put things back towards even. Red Rider, they're not going to be able to get him back on his feet. I'm not sure if Hot and Spicy is resable, but it looks like he's playing the high side, just waiting to see if any of the Collector boys try to make the push over. Meanwhile, Conf and Joshy just holding on to that last bit of hard cover, and Hazel has left. He's working his way back down towards the south. I'm not sure. Do you go for the res on a Red Rider here? Or is he just going for an alternate position? Looks like he's going to spot him out. Oh, and K-Mind! Wow! Pest Control just instantly deletes Collector off the map and gets a big win to push them into 3rd place. Wow.
And it's Canada as they manage to get themselves all the way up. And Poro, you look at the top 3 whenever we finally look at the overall leaderboard, and it is full of Canadians, but Pest Control, 23 points. Oh my god, with a big 12 kill game for them. But most importantly, they got the kills onto the lobby leaders. And yes, you know, in one way, you open the door for any, but more importantly, by killing your lobby leaders that early, it meant that they go into week 2 with less points than they could have had if you've got your eyes set in that top 8.
That's true. I mean, you've got to look at the scene, the whole thing writ large. It's definitely better that Athletes of Christ were not going to continue on their rampage, because you never know, right? The next week that we play these, next time Athletes of Christ, maybe they don't have as good of a day as they did today. But I mean, at the end of the day, Athletes of Christ, New Gen All-Stars, they were on one. They were feeling themselves, and they were collecting as many points as they could. And you can see the difference between 1 and 2, and then that drop off down to 3rd and 4th as Pest Control will take 3rd place overall with that big win there in the final game.
Yeah, and you kind of see all the teams had a big jump in that last map except for the top 2, which, as we said, this is a long race. It's a weekly cup that you've got to compete well in a scrim to qualify for, and then your performance over the 5 weekly cups gets put together. There's a $15,000 prize pool, but even more importantly, there's a place in PAS to qualify and to try enter those international events. So this is all about it's not a sprint, Paro, it's a marathon. But one thing's for sure, athletes in New Gen, they sprinted out of the traps and they've given themselves an advantage.
And to be honest, I mean, I think that's what we were kind of expecting, right? Like, that was Athletes of Christ were amazing during scrims. They were dominating lobbies that they absolutely should have dominated, and we were expecting both them and New Gen All-Stars to come into this lobby and be fighting for that top spot. And they proved that they can do what they were expected to do. Now, up and down that leaderboard, I think we saw a few other surprises, and maybe not, I don't want to say surprises, but we saw teams that found points in a lobby where 2 teams were kind of sponging everything up. Yep. And really just kind of having that 1 or 2 games to kind of separate yourself from the rest of the pack and put yourself in a good position for the weeks to come.
As we said, 4 more weeks to go. Next week it will be on Saturday, of course, and it will be Saturdays from next week on. This week I think there's more events on over the weekend, so that's why we are on the Friday. If you do want to compete, make sure to go to the WASDefy website and sign up. I believe that's where you sign up for scrims. You got to play in the scrims to qualify for the cup. And then, as we said, $15,000 up for grabs at the end of the 5 weeks. And you get the opportunity to try to compete in PAS. So, Paro, it's a bit of a change up in the format. It's a lot different than we've had in previous years. But it really is set up to reward the teams that play.
And it's also set up to where you can get in. If you're wanting to put your own team together, start coming in here, you think, hey, you change of perspective, maybe a change in our fortunes, let's put a team together and let's get in there and try to get our hands on some of that money that's being divvied out there. But the most important thing at the end of the day, Gibson, it's 2026 and PUBG is back.
We are so back, but we're also going to wrap up because it's time to go. On that note, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody at home for watching. Paro, thanks to you, thanks to our production team, and we will see you again next week. Same place, different day. Saturday. See you then.